going live, going live, you're live. Dead man walking, dead man walking. Ka-chow, what's happening, fellow weirdos? It's your boy HP, back at it from the Elder Things dimension. And I can tell you, don't ever fucking go there. Alright? Oh, encoding overloaded. Consider turning down your... Well, it wasn't overloaded last time. Like, what is this? Someone's got a case of the Mondays? What is this bullshit? Is it lagging? Of course it is. Of course we gotta spend the first 20 minutes on fucking this shit. Oh, my Christ. Why? Consider turning down your video setting. Bitch, they won't go down any further. This is it. Right? What about... No, that's worse. Man, this is less. Why is it I'm at a weird angle? I just realized that. Do you guys see it at a weird angle? You fucking do. Oh, never mind. I think it's an optical illusion. I don't fucking know. Oh, my God. Okay. God damn, dude. Okay. Focus. Christ. Oh, good. There we go. YouTube is not receiving enough. Don't pound the fucking table. Everything's gonna shake, and then you're gonna get pissed. Every fucking time with this shit. Encoding overloaded. Like, well, why isn't it overloaded sometimes? Like, do I just need to restart my computer every time I do this shit? Like, what do we... Scene transition. Mixers. And I can fuck with the... Oh, and now it's... no, you know, it went away for a quarter of a second. Went away for a quarter of a goddamn second. Now I have to check to see if you guys are even seeing me. I mean, I know that it's choppy. It usually balances out. You know how it is with the fish people. Meanwhile, my neighbors are playing DJ Wump Wump, which has the same fucking electronic bass line going wump wump wump, wump wump wump, wump wump wump, and I'm just like, you know, I wonder if you guys... Oh, Christ, I just realized I've got my Bluetooth headset in. Sorry, everybody. You know, it takes 12 years to get this shit running. No, you know, it went away for a quarter of a second. Yep. For a quarter of a goddamn second. Now I have to check to see if you guys are even seeing me. Oh, my fucking word. Okay. Okay, so I've been away for a few days doing some shit I shouldn't have been doing, and it was bad, and now I'm back. And, you know, YouTube is, YouTube gonna YouTube, or my equipment gonna my equipment. I never fucking know. Nothing ever fucking works, you know? It's like, there are very few industries where things just have to work, and you can't, like, you know, fuck over your clientele, because they'll fuck you up. They'll just say, fuck you. So, speaking of which, not sure how late we should get started, but, in this episode, we definitely gotta be talking about, the last Cucked, the Cucktivust. Because them leaks just came out. I woke up this morning to, you know, my boy Ken telling me about that shit. And then, fucking, after which, I get on Facebook and Patrick has put a little, you know, message up saying, listen, don't look at the leaks. He was that dude at the crime scene trying to hold me back while I'm going, that's my house! It's my daughter in there! And he's going, no, you can't get through the line, sir! And I'm seeing him carry it out in a body bag, and they've got Cuckman, and he's in a straitjacket going, covered in fucking blood and shit like that. Christ. So we'll talk about that. We're going to wait for the viewership to go up a little bit. Sorry, I need to get more energy. If it seems like I've got a lot of energy, I don't. I'm pretty burnt out. Oh, fuck. All right, wake it up. Let's just go ahead and read some comments while we can. So we got French Canadian guy says, sup, my dude. What is up, French Canadian guy? I assume you're from French Canada. Kane the Warlock is in. He says, what's up? We have hello from Immortal Spartan. The Omni Seal's here. He says, this is where Tolstoy says, hello, Omni Seal. Congratulations, you played yourself. Freaky Pit Freaks says, sick beard, dude. Yeah, it's getting longer and weirder, and I can't wait to shave, but I'm saving that for the fucking victory dance. Fuck. And they're talking about we may have to extend the quarantine till May 8th, and I'm just like, nah, son. Let it. In fact, did I say anything offensive on... Well, anyway, you know, I saw something, you know, one of my boys who I know in real life on Facebook was, you know, talking about, you know, he used to live in North Carolina, and he wrote, oh, look, you know, they want to unlock NC, well, these dumb rednecks and shit like that, and I just immediately went, I didn't want to, like, post it on his fucking page, because he has just a shit ton of Sierra Juliet whiskeys there, and I was like, no, so I went right to the commented on his, I messaged him, and I just sent a video, because I didn't feel like writing it all out. I was like, look, man, Like, I'm ready to get back into the gym, and honestly, it's a win-win. Like, it's the boomer remover. If it removes the boomers, like, fucking problem. And I was like, and if it kills me, that's a win-win-win, baby. Like, fuck, dude. You know? And then fuck me. Anyway, so they're saying that we may have to extend this shit till May 8th, and I'm like, just hang me. I just got done trying to do, like, a home chest and tries workout, and first of all, like, you know, I don't have a fucking proper bench, so I've got, like, a weird and oddly, you know, shaped ottoman or some shit like that, and I'm bent over that trying to do tricep, whatever you call, I call it tricep press, dumbbell tricep press, and I think I, like, tweaked my, it's so ghetto what I'm doing. I tweaked my dorsal on my left side, and that may have been from shifting the dumbbells from side to side as I'm laying on the floor trying to do some kind of fly trap, you know, but I don't have two of the same fucking weight because I go to a goddamn gym. I have, like, 4 dumbbells, a 20, a 25, a 30, and a 35. Like, because basically when I first started working out, all I cared about was, you know, buys. So, yeah, it's, anyway. The French-Canadian guy says, you're not even moving on my side. Oh, fuck, that sucks. It looks smooth to me now, so maybe that shit... Yeah, and Freaky Pit Freak says, better no lag, which is weird because YouTube is still telling me to go fuck myself. So what is this? I don't understand. Like, you know, the shit you say is not matching up, which, that's pretty usual for YouTube. Everyone says it's fine now. Kazlab says, so The Last of Us 2 spoilers? How much would it cost you to play it now? You couldn't buy it. You couldn't buy it. I would die. In fact, yeah, never mind. I should watch what I say, but I'm just saying, like, fuck. Sometimes... Anyway. Stephen Knight says, what's up, Tolstoy fam? Stephen, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for showing up, showing your support. Insert Title Gaming says, try an anime called Monster. It's very good. I don't do animes very often, and when I do, I've already got my recommendations filled up. Got to finish Cells at Work. I've heard Psycho-Pass is good. Gonna have to look into that. Patrick was trying to sell me on some mangas, man. He was basically, his thesis was that there's a manga for everyone. And I was like, all right, I want to see a rock climbing manga. And he's like, he found a fucking name, and I haven't looked up. And he's like, you can look up translates of it on the net, you know? And he's just like, it's a rock climbing manga that has gone for 100 fucking issues. And I'm like, ooh, that does sound pretty fucking good. I may have to get that. I just realized I can't fucking hear myself because this thing's broken. Is she broken? Ah, here we go. No. Like, I want to know that when I get up close, whether, you know, because I want to be able to hear myself so I know if I'm doing good ASMR. You know, if I'm doing, do you think there's some action figure ASMR we can get here? Yeah, that kind of fucking sucks. That's not good. I didn't like that. I am not a fucking good ASMR artist. Why? Well, you know what I know is good is fucking mobile phones. Do you like touch tapping? I do. I don't have a fucking good sensitive enough microphone. I should have bought a Rode. I should have fucking gone to Australia. They're made in Australia. I should have gone to the Gold Coast. I should have found Dimitri, and I should have been like, hey, Dimitri, I'm a huge fan. Can I have one of your roads? And I've been like, yeah, mate, of course you can have. I can't do his fucking accent. Every time I get going, I'm like, no, don't do the accent. Insert Title Gaming says, oh, yeah, I already read that. And no, I'm not drunk. Velodrone says, TKE, my man, any update from the girl you were speaking to the other day? Did you manage to recover the chat, or did she cuck you? She didn't cuck me. She'd be cucking me if I gave in and was a fucking simp. No. I told you, I think on the other stream, was like, you know, I tried to hit her up, and I was like, look, you know, if you want to get some exercise, I'm doing forced marches, which, by the way, the blisters. There is no, like, I'm a pretty tough, I made a Facebook post about this. I would like to consider myself a pretty tough guy, you know what I mean? Like, within reason. For, like, a little guy, I've had, like, it's hard to gauge, because pain is subjective, but there are certain things that people are like, oh, yeah, that's fucking painful, so... But I've never broken a bone. It's weird to admit, but, you know, I've had a pilonidal cyst, and I didn't have health care, so I just white-knuckled through it until it eventually ruptured. And yes, I understand the risk. It could have given me sepsis. It could have actually paralyzed me. But this is America, man. Welcome to that shit. And long story short, like, so I just, like, dealt with that. And I would have ranked that pain at, like, a 6, which is about where you're supposed to go to the hospital. I've also had a collapsed lung, and I would rate that as a 6. Like, I was able to deal with it. It's just every moment was a fucking nightmare. I didn't even know it was a collapsed lung, and I was still smoking at the time, so I lit up a ciggy. But I can fucking tell you that when I went to go take, like, a fucking Epsom salt bath, you know, because I found, like, some Tupperware that's big enough for my stupid-ass foot. You know, Epsom salt that shit, you know, poured in a little hot water, put my foot in, it was burning worse than it should. Like, it was a chemical burn. I'm just like, this is super painful. I have no fucking idea why. And then I kind of just, like, looked and realized there was just this rupture side of this massive fucking, blister on my foot. And I just poked it, and oh my, and I was like, ah! And then I was like, well, I don't want to get a fucking infection because I don't have any health care. I'm not going to a goddamn hospital. Usually I don't give a shit, but somebody that I know got an infection on their leg, and I was just like, that's a little bit too convenient. And I was like, no, I don't want to risk it. So I just took 91 isopropyl alcohol, dumped it on there, waited a few seconds, and I was like, that's not that. And I mean, we're talking, okay, I've accidentally stabbed myself and cut myself, like, on every occasion. Like, one time, I was playing with the, we don't have it, the paramilitary 2, and I was watching a scene from Kill Bill where she's doing the knife fight with Vivica, what was her name? Vivian Fox, I think? Vivica Fox? And she flips the knife around and catches it by the other handle, so I flipped it around and caught it by the blade, and the blade, it sunk deep into my fucking pinky finger. Like, it took, like, a couple good weeks to heal and be able to be using it, but it wasn't that fucking painful. Like, the fucking shit was worse, man. So anyway, I asked her if she wanted to come along on these forced marches, and my exact language was, and I quote, I know you're not really a baller at the gym, but, I feel like you could really own it at gentle walking. And she texts back, LOL, gentle walking. No thanks, I get enough of that work. And I just want to text back, that's what fatties say, right? Fatties are like, oh, I exercise at work. Like, nah, bitch. Fucking standing behind a counter, don't fucking count, motherfucker. Super sorry about that. Like, I used to pull 10-hour shifts on my fucking feet and then get off, run a mile to warm up, and then do an hour's worth of working out. Like, I don't think you're, and I'm still fucking fat because Europeanism. I don't fucking know. I don't have a, so, dude with the name in kanji that I'll never be able to pronounce. If you want to give me a pronunciation, my kanji guy. Until then, I'm just going to call you fucking Sato, says, hey. Alexis says, are The Last of Us leaks really bad? Haven't seen them yet. Man, how bad do you want to know? This your boy HP back at it again with the existential dread. It's literally like looking at the unnameable. It's some fucking, let's get it on. Like the movie Tron, man. It's some HP Lovecraft shit where it's just, here we go. I can just read some insane shit. The hellish vaults of Zin, where Gugs, G-U-G-S, hunt ghasts in the dark. In almost the same second, he seized the lamp from the altar and darted on to the frescoed. Man, what the fuck does that mean? Frescoed labyrinths, racing this way and that a chance to turn. Why am I reading in a British accent? He was from America. But either way, you get my point. It was peering into the darkness with infinite teeth and shit like that. The infinite pits of Chaturga. And I'm just like, how could it have gotten this? Like, but we'll get to that. No, I'm gonna hold off on it. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I'm really oh no. My first thought was like, have a drink. Like, I had to buy some emergency drinks in case I lost my goddamn mind trying to get clean. So they're still sitting there, and I keep on meaning to give it away to somebody. Give it away now. But ta. Also, why do I always want to do? Well, because you always feel like you've done a good job after you at least managed to work out. Like that's the most terrible story I've ever heard. Yeah, well, because the thing is there were other rewards once you finished in the gym, including, like, sitting in the sauna for 20 minutes and drinking a power shake with creatine. Like, that was the pat on the head. Now you have no pat on the head. Like, this is basic scales of happiness measurement system. Like, no joy plus all depression equals, like, alcohol looking really good. Kazlab says, so is May 1st still the end of the quarantine, or did they delay it? I'm thinking they're going to delay it. I don't know. I hope not. The Omniseal says, you dying is a lose-lose, bro. No, it's not. I want to be free of this mortal coil. Like, fuck. Like, I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? Like, it's getting so horrible. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can keep going with this weird shit. Velodrone says, just started playing Prey. Any tips for optimum game playthrough experience? You could ask Steve about that. Fucking, Stephen Knight just recently played through that, and he took a different look. I chose all human powers. You know what I mean? And he just chose all fucking alien powers. So, yeah, it really depends. There's actually really no playstyle that's bad. That's why the game is genius. It's not a game that forces you to play a certain way, which I got some shit to say about that. Yeah, you can choose almost any way to play. Just there's a drawback to it. So, like, actually, there's one thing you must heavily invest in, which is keep that electric, when you find the electric immobilizer or whatever the fuck it is, it's like a stun gun, little stun pistol, keep that and upgrade the shit out of it, because even though it doesn't seem this way, somewhere near the end of the game, there's going to be a challenge that is absolute bullshit, was never foretold, was never foreshadowed, and requires that to solve it. And if you didn't invest in that, it is insane. Caslab says, that rock climbing manga is 17 volumes. Fuck yeah. Well, I'd actually purchase it. I would like to actually sit it and read within my hand. No. If it was cheap. If, manga is too fucking expensive. Like, which really doesn't make any sense because the work has already been done. Like, when you look at anime just needs a dub. And once it's been dubbed, and I know it's not apples to apples, but, really all, kids do it on the internet for free. They take mangas, they digitally edit out the Japanese, they put in, American or English or French or whatever the fuck. If they can do that shit on the internet for free, I kind of feel like these, greedy manga corporations. I get that they're trying to turn a fucking profit. Well, you know what? If they're profitable, they're fucking profitable. But I feel like a lot of kids these days can just see that for free on the net, and I feel like it's going to have a Netflix kind of style thing where that's going to, bring down their profits. Like, face it, dude, it's a comic book, man. It's a funny book. Like, I don't think... Well, I guess that depends. Like, for example, that volume of Uzumaki... It's actually really nicely bound, but it's like $35, and that's a lot for a book, my guy. It's a lot. But I mean, if there was a way to get that in a bulk trade, and that's the thing, they don't do trade paperbacks. They like to release them volume by volume, and you have to autistically collect each one of them. And I'm like, nah, guy, give me the omnibus, give me the big ass fucking brick. You know what I mean? Of all the, quickly translated volumes that are already produced and have already made their money in the Japanese market. That way you can expand the amount of money that you're going to make in the English-speaking market, my guy. Sato says, at insert title gaming, I agree, the monster anime, it's really good, completely removed from about most Japanese tropes, but very long, about 75 episodes. Okay, now you've convinced me. The fact that you say it doesn't contain Japanese tropes, because, that's why I don't really like anime. I like anime that is self-aware and doesn't cater to weebs. You know what I mean? One of the biggest things that I hate is, the way that, and they do this in America, too, all of our creations between America and Japan have to have, sexuality, force-fucked into there. It's the story could literally be about, aliens invading, but the main character has to have some fucking love story, and I'm just gay. That's why I really liked Metal Gear Solid. Didn't have that shit. I mean, it was there, but it was a side character, Hal. The main badass doesn't deal with that shit. He's just a warrior. Love does not pertain greatly to my life, therefore I don't identify with it, therefore fuck out of here with that shit. And again, fucking a Jean Demi-Human didn't even have that shit. And also, it was, refreshing that there was a female character that was neither the proud, dominant woman, but was also not, some sort of kawaii, sex toy for the main character. She was her own fucking character. They even suggest that she kind of got, her lucky, got where she was because of her looks or because of, the, intimation that she might be sexual with someone, but she never gives into it and she escapes. And well, that's at least a slightly compelling character from either a female or a male perspective. And it's rare to find that. It's usually the females are just super cutesy kawaii shit, or, they're they're there as a, wow, I sound like a feminist, but I mean, it's not a thing that It's not, doesn't sound realistic. I don't like watching, a tiny 90-pound girl beat up a Navy SEAL because I just don't care. And I don't like watching women that just are there to cheer for the main character who's a man because, face it, I'm a man. I'm the main character. Ain't no woman cheering for me. So, I don't identify with it. I really like Metal Gear Solid where it's, what's her face? Naomi, and she's a bitch that tries to destroy the fucking world, and no one calls her on it. If I were Snake and I found her, knowing all the shit that he knew that she did to him, I'd be like, "Okay, Dad," and just fucking choke her. But I guess Snake is less impulsive than me and knows that she's the key to finding the secret to curing Fox Dick or some shit like that. But why do they trust her so much? Why do they just forgive her? In the end of Metal Gear 1, she's like, "Yeah, I gave you super AIDS," and he's like, "Great," and then in Metal Gear Solid 4, she's like, "Oh yeah, you're dying early. 'Cause of AIDS." Jerk. You know what I mean? And that's, I don't know, that's more akin to my experience. I don't know why. I'm not saying anything. I'm just, I'm saying strong, powerful woman characters. That's what we need. That kill all the main characters who are bad because God grant me this right to accept there are things that I cannot change, the power to change the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference, or a powerful enough handgun, so it won't matter. Kazlab says, and it has an ending, so you don't have to worry about it running on for 15 years like Naruto. Where that's another thing I don't like. I can't do the fucking, hey man, it gets better after episode 1000. Can't do that shit. Freak Pit Freak says, staying inside is getting on my fucking nerves. Dude, I miss my college campus. Yeah, isn't that fucked up? I miss work. I wish I could go back to work. Like, what a weird upside down horrible honk universe we live in. Billy Pork says, "What's this beard action? Like, it's just this horrible thing that grows out of my face. I don't think it looks very attractive, but I'm not trying to be attractive for anyone. And I'm just saving it for the. I was saving that bacon. You know what I mean? I'm saving it for the end. Like, fuck." Casleb says, "Ever watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist?" No, I'm sure I know what that is, and it's a spoof of kung fu movies. But the best fucking kung fu movie spoof ever was Kung Fu Hustle. Fight me. Stephen Knight says, "The fuck? How did you get a collapsed lung, lol?" It can actually happen. What's that word? Congenitally. Believe it or not, you can just form a little pocket, like a little tear in your lungs. And I can tell you why. It's because I was one, I was smoking, which wasn't good, and I was malnourished. I was eating nothing. I was trying to lose a lot of weight. And, like, I remember at the time I was talking with that girl from Texas, and she kept saying, you know, "Boy, you're wasting away. You know, when I go out to see you, there better be something that you left." And I just thought, oh, that's those Texans. You know, they just like bigger people. They're okay with, you know, fatter people out there or whatever. And then I recently went back and, like, saw all the pictures that I sent her and shit like that, some of which with my shirt off. And I'm like, oh, Christ. And I looked like a fucking skeleton. You know what I mean? And, yeah, so, and this was, there's really no video evidence of this because this was while I was on hiatus from YouTube, and I started working out, and then I started eating more, and I did gain both fat and muscle mass, and I know I've, like, pretty much regained all of my original fat, but a little bit more muscle. If I could just, I don't even really care, actually, about losing the fat at this point. I would actually keep the fat if I could just work out and build more muscle. I just want to go home. I'm going home. Anyway, so I'm guessing from not eating anything and from smoking, it developed. And at first I thought it was something to do with my gallbladder or my liver, and it actually felt insanely painful, and a lot of people say, yeah, man, the pain of gallbladder is insane if you get a gallstone. But the thing is that there's a couple things, and it might have been pancreatitis. I don't know. I can't go to a goddamn doctor. It would get better slightly if I folded my arms and leaned forward. That is not indicative of anything to do with the gallbladder. If it's gallbladder, there is nothing that you can do to make it stop happening. When I tested by sticking my hand underneath my rib cage and taking a deep inhale, nothing, which is also not indicative of problems with your gallbladder. And then you could say pancreatitis is actually cured a little bit by leaning forward, but pancreatitis also comes with a host of other problems, including vomiting and diarrhea, and/or constipation, which I had neither. Which is hysterical because if it was gallbladder related, then I did the worst thing ever, which initially I thought I'd flipped a disc in my back and had a pinched nerve because it felt like shards of glass in my chest when breathing in. So I thought I was in the middle of a fast. I obviously was, wasting away, and I ordered like a massive everything pizza and just ate the whole thing and smoked like a pack of cigarettes on my back porch in abject agony. And I was playing The Darkness 2. Fuck. Anyway, Insert Title Gaming says, because you play Dungeons & Dragons, have you ever tried Magic the Gathering? I don't really play Dungeons & Dragons. I actually play Vampires the Masquerade. Haven't played it in a long time, though. And I played Magic the Gathering in middle school, but as a series, it went completely downhill because they've had to continually, update the rules so that they could make more cards to make more money, and it has made the game absolutely buttfuck. Therefore, not my deal. Steven Knight says, also, are you playing Red Dead Redemption 2? It's the last of, yeah, my buddy Sam talked it up, and I mean to, but I want to get a physical copy, because that way it can be, used, and that way I can, fucking get it for cheaper. Like, if you go on PSN, it's just straight up $60, and I can't drop that kind of coin. I really want to, because Final Fantasy VII has actually worn on my nerves a bit, and I'm going to explain that in the review. Fuck. Apparently, I played the game wrong. God, aren't games that you can only play one way great? Fuck, I love that shit, where it's just you're playing it wrong. What do you mean I'm playing it wrong? Actually, that makes a lot of sense in a way, but, either way, didn't think I was. But either way, I'm getting tired of hack and slash shit. I really want to shoot something, but unfortunately, it will cost money. And then he goes on to say, is The Last of Us really that good? I never played it. Oh, dude, play the first one. Yes. Are you kidding? The Last of Us is one of the greatest games ever made, and The Last of Us 2 is a blasphemy in the face of God. The Boss of Cat's Nick says, Lovecraft's pretty good, but I don't think he can tell me the tactical advantage of stabbing a man in the face. This is true. He's not aware that there is a tactical advantage in stabbing a man in the face. Good comment. Tsukabliat says, I've been reading this book from a guy near my home called Once Upon a Time, an Apocalypse, which takes place in Alabama after an EMP attack. Okay, so ironically, there's actually already a better, more famous version of that written by a dude who's actually one of the professors at the University of North Carolina. And it's called 30 Seconds After or 1 Minute Later or something like that. I imagine he is because he's stuck in his room all day. Stephen Knight says, fully upgrade the weapons on Prey as soon as you are able. On Prey, they fully upgrade Kinetic Blast. Oh, okay. Yeah, Kinetic Blast does do a shit ton of damage, and the shotgun fully tacked out definitely helps early on in the game. Kane the Warlock says, they sometimes do a 3-in-1 for some manga. Some. Alright, but I mean, would he go on, like, the internet? And, like, is there, like, a place where it's, like, in English? Like... And also, it's got to be like 3-in-1 for what? Nah, because it's like $20 for 3 of them, and I just can't, man. It would have to be because I just don't care about anime that much. You know what? I would just read it for free on the internet. I mean, that sucks, but... Kazlab says, they already have those for some manga, except it comes with 3 books in one. I've seen that. That's still not as many... I guess manga is longer per issue, but, you know... Yeah, and Kazlab then also talks about that setup for Hot Gimmick. Yeah, I know. I saw those, and great. They came out after I collected all of the fucking the initial, you know... Did I keep any of my manga? I gave all the rest of it to Hal. But I think the only manga I have left is Uzumaki. That was the only one I cared to keep. Stephen Knight says, ever play Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain? I did, yeah. At first I didn't want to play number 5 because it's not a Metal Gear Solid game. You know, it's not, I don't know if I consider it canon or not. I saw how shambolic Kojima is, and I was like, I don't know about that, man. And, but after it came out and it dropped down to $20, I said, look, just buy it, and if it's stupid, laugh at it, and if it's cool, enjoy it, and all the stupid parts I laughed at and all the cool parts I enjoyed, leaving me with a question of whether or not I actually consider it canon. I answered that video in my MGS5 Venom Snake figure review, which, you know, I may actually just start posting on Patreon. If we're already agreeing that I'm doing shit that could possibly, you know, look like it's child-friendly, you know, then I might as well just start uploading all of the B-sides that I saved on my hard drive to the paywall. That way I can claim, you know, I said it was for 18 and older, except for, well, okay. I'll probably do that. Kane the Warlock says, speaking of manga recommendations, Berserk, the old anime is great, but cuts out too much and only covers the golden age. The new 3D anime is ass, plus the art is amazing. Man, everyone really loves Berserk. Is it on Netflix? I might check it out for free. Go up there and tell him I want a chicken sandwich and waffle fries for free, okay? That is the only way that I will accept that. Stephen Knight says, laughing my ass off, I was saving that bacon. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite lines by Will Smith. That's one of my favorite movies because, you know, like I said, I spent long periods of my life by myself, like in solitude, and I actually really identified with that character, and I guess I just always thought that it was because he was written to be badass, but years later I was like, no, it's because he has social issues, and when people try to come in and fuck with him, he gets pissed, you know what I mean? Like, after years of, you know, homeschooling and then kind of feeling aloof and alone and only really talking to some people that I worked at my job with at a grocery store, you know, I finally get this girlfriend and she calls me during Lost, and I was just like, I literally, I didn't want to be mean, but I was just like, bitch, I told you never call me during Lost, you know what I mean? And I didn't mean to be so pimp about it. In fact, you know, that was definitely not who I was, you know, I was definitely like a raging beta, you know, but it didn't matter because I was so used to... I definitely acted like as weird and standoffish as Will Smith in that film because I was just so into my own aloofness and into my own, you know, solitude that somebody fucking with my shit was just like, I'm saving that bacon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when he pulls the gun and it's just like, yeah, because you fucking came in and undid a bunch of shit that I asked you not to do. Like, it's not that he asked him not to do, but you see what I'm saying. Everything jumped. Bossacat says, Kung Fu Hustle versus Big Trouble in Little China. Probably Kung Fu Hustle. I've never seen the Big Trouble in Little China. I know it's considered a classic, but, you know, that... Everyone really thinks it's a classic. What's that other one? Escape from New York. I've never been able to get through it. I know, it inspired Metal Gear Solid. I know. I've never been able to... I love a lot of the works by John Carpenter, but it's hit or miss with him. He's like, you know, he does... Did Prince of Darkness, In the Mouth of Madness, and The Thing. He calls that his Apocalypse trilogy. And it's The Fog was good too. Fog was fucking good. And They Live. So that's 5 great films. But then he was all like, yeah, man, I'll do Halloween. All of them I hated. And then like Escape from New York, Escape from LA. And I'm just like, okay. Steven Knight says, damn, man, I missed the Darkness series. I liked the first one more than the second one, but both were good. Yeah, so the second one was based more heavily on the comic book, which I don't know if any of you all know this. I kind of got tricked into getting it after playing that game, and I'll show you. It was like a $60 omnibus. And by the way, this will show all you manga lords how this shit's done. Let me show you how the Americans do it. Oh my god, nope. Okay, those, my feet still hurt. Okay, stand it up. Jesus walk. Where are you, bitch? Oh, you're on the bottom of the world. Christ. There's like cobwebs on this bitch? Damn. She almost looks like she got water damage. Oh my Jesus. Hang on. Yeah, it does look like it got water damage. Whoa. Christ. Alright. So a couple things that I want to say about the Darkness Compendium. First off, hang on, let me move all my shit, get my fat ass situated. You know what? I really need one of those mics that comes out over top so I still have a fucking surface. If I ever find any kind of freedom or happiness in this, shithole banana republic that we live in, I'm gonna get me one of those. I'm gonna get a Rode mic that hangs over top just like that. Okay, so I played The Darkness a long time ago. The game probably hasn't aged well in terms of maybe gameplay or graphics, but the graphics at the time were really amazing, and I think the presentation was really excellent. Voice acting, just little fucking things. It all kind of hinged around this character Jackie Estacado and his Goyle friend. And in the very beginning, they developed the characters. Well, they don't develop the characters. They're pretty archetypal, but I mean, the game could have literally just said, it's Super Mario Brothers. Hey man, go rescue the princess. They could have said, hey man, go rescue the girl or whatever. But nah, there's a scene where you literally go to her apartment in like Brooklyn or some shit like that, and they're playing, not the Grapes of Wrath. What's the one with Atticus Finch and whatnot? You know what I'm talking about? The To Kill a Mockingbird. They're playing the film adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird on the TV, and she's like, watch this movie with me. And if you press X and sit down, you can watch the entire goddamn movie. It's a movie in a game! It's also a classic fucking movie, so like, win-win, right? So, it was dark, full of darkness. It was very fucking emo, and it's actually really what I needed at the time. And so it got me into the character. I consider him a less edgy Spawn. It's the same fucking basic shit, because of darkness or some unnamed, power that is ethereal. He can make a super suit out of him, he covers himself. It can make blades out of his hands. It's the same basic powers and edginess as Spawn. I don't like Spawn because, come on, man. Your fucking shit is, I have the power of the devil. Oh, Jesus, one of you all. The best thing that ever happened was in the movie when John Leguizamo is, trying to tell him about how, the whole powers works or some shit like that. And they're in a graveyard and a bunch of Satanist burnouts with leather jackets and shit are like, whoa, are you, from the devil? And he goes, what the fuck is up with God hogging all the good followers? We got all the glue sniffers down here. Yeah, man, that's glue sniffer grade and shit. That's edgy boy fucking shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. This shit's edgy boy as fuck. But the game made by Starbreeze Studio kind of schmoozed that shit the fuck out. So I saw this in a Borders Books that used to be in Annapolis, Maryland. It was a 2-story bookstore. They closed it and turned it into a Forever 21 right before I left. But now this is the Big Daddy size. Let me see if there's some. I feel like there's some ASMR in here. Go ahead and bump the mic, you dumb cunt. There you fucking. The other thing that I want to say is okay, this kind of binding is ballsy. There's only one other comic that I've ever seen that's bound this fucking thick, and it's Bone. You know, the original Bone. I really have to say, like, the paper, I don't even know how to explain this, but, like, you know, there's different qualities of paper that's fucking thick. It's thick with 2 C's, bitch. And it is glossy as a motherfucker. And, you know, the art is nice. How fucking ever. You get in there and you realize it's fucking schmaltzy. The video game didn't even follow really the basic fucking premise. Kind of. In the most basic fucking way. But, basically, as soon as you realize that, like, it's mostly just... Let me see if I can find a good example. It's hard to hold the fucking... Like, my chest is actually hurting. So there you fucking go. You know, there you fucking go. It's gotta be just women with big old titties and fucking... You know what I mean? I don't know. The whole... It appeals to 16-year-olds. And what's really weird is that it totally has scenes of ultra-violence in it. However, there's no cuss words. I swear to God, it's so weird. Like, I think they say shit and damn, but there's no F word. There's literally a scene in the very beginning where he creates tendrils of darkness that feed into a human's body, and they slither into its skin, and he rips the human, you know, viscera and splats them on 2 walls, but he can't say the word fuck? Okay, bud, you do you. But the second one was closer, and again, the second one, yes, it was more wacky and actually closer to the somewhat original premise, specifically with, like, the religious artifacts that you can find and, like, the more comic book nature of it. However, they still toned back the wackiness. Like, the darkness, the comic book is fucking clown shoes. Like, I can't think, like, where I draw the line on that edgy boy shit, but, I can't think. That's so fucking, it's so fucking, like, the Punisher is straight up, you know, is that dark, but he doesn't have any powers. If you gave the Punisher powers, but he kept that attitude, that shit would still not be as wacky. Sorry for that little tangent. You know how Tolstoy do. Kazlab says, were you able to beat the Monster House in FF7? Yes, so I was. I also found out that I did not know. It mentioned something about if, you know, later in the game, if your materia powers up, you can use the more powerful versions of them, you know, Firaga instead of Fyra or whatever the fuck. But I didn't know how to do that. So all of a sudden, by accident, I'm clicking, like, you know, right, and I all of a sudden channel in Fyra, and I'm like, holy shit, no wonder I wasn't beating anything. Then I got past the stupid monster house, and then I did all the stupid side quests, and then I got into the sewers, and the boss in the fucking sewers immediately whoops up my ass, and I have a lot to say about that, and I'm going to get maybe a little dark side Phil in the review, and I don't want to give you guys too much of it, but I've got to work on that. And that might be like episode 3 or 4 by the time that we fucking talk about it, but had a buddy of mine on Facebook that we had a conversation about it, and he was basically like, wait a minute, you didn't do that one thing? And I was like, no, I thought it was fucking optional, and I didn't like the character, and I thought he was creepy and gay, and I wanted to move along, you know? And he was like, oh, that's literally, you're done. And I'm like, is there any chance that I can fix it now? And I'm like, okay, so I can either go back to the beginning? Fuck me. Like, okay, anyway, but we'll see. I just want to put it down for a little while and take a goddamn break and shoot some stuff, you know. Insert Title Gaming says, there's plenty of free websites for reading manga, just like websites for watching anime. Kane the Warlock says, the elder gods are so above us we can't do anything about it. Lovecraft rams ship into Cthulhu's face and it works. Wait, what? When did that happen? Kazlab says, so you gave Hal hot gimmick? Wonder what his wife will think of them. No, all of the shoujo manga that I have, I donated to a fucking, yep, fuck, kill me. I donated to a, library back in Maryland. I just had, like, some left, like, some Tenchi, there's some left over, most, like, manga samplers. I just gave him a bunch of shit that was weeby. I basically give a lot of my shit away. Like, I try to downsize on my possessions all the goddamn time. Like, you know, and I'm, like, looking around at things that I need and I don't need. Like, the little figures of Vash, do I need that? Like, I have a statue of Cthulhu. I really don't think that I fucking need it anymore. I really like H.P. Lovecraft, but I've been to the guy's grave. I have the token, the memento in my head. I don't think that I need, like, a little statue of it. anymore. You know, I have a crystal skull. What the fuck do I need the crystal skull for? I mean, anyway, I don't know. I swing in between, unfortunately, wanting to decorate and then at the same time also wanting to, you know, get rid of all my shit and just downsize and be free of possessions and whatnot. The Boss of Cats Nick says, whatever happened to the unforgivable guy anyway? You know, there's actually a video on that, and I forget what the dude, you might even be able to look up whatever happened to Unforgivable. There's a dude who does, that's a cool shtick. He found a good niche market, and he reminds me a little bit, like, he looks like somebody I'm related to, but he's from Tennessee, and my family's from Pennsylvania. And his video line is literally whatever happened to. And it's just, he just goes, he's like an internet detective who goes around like looking for whatever happened to these. I think the last episode that I saw of him that really, like, I didn't know this was, I forget what the guy's name was, but he was like one of the first big internet celebrities that had infamy, and he was kind of a troll. He was that kid that had just railroad fucking, you know, piano teeth. And also, his voice sounded exactly like Dave Chappelle's white people voice. I'm not even making that up. And I remember seeing him back in the day and going, that's weird. But trolls loved him and they loved to make fun of him, but he just didn't give a shit about the hate, and he just dished out the hate on top of people's favorite celebrities. And people hated him for it, except for 50 Cent. He fucking loved 50 Cent. And, like, right around the time that something bad happened to him and, like, just all the trolls were getting too much, all of a sudden one of his videos comes out, and it's literally him in New York sitting in a high-rise penthouse apartment with 50 Cent, and he's just like, John, own it, and I'm just like, God damn it, Fitty, you're amazing. That's fucking great. That is harnessing the power of memes. That's meme energy. So you might be able to look up whatever happened. From what I understood, the dude who was the, you know, the unforgivable guy, I thought he was British, believe it or not. I just, for some reason, I thought he was British. Nah, he's from Texas. Kane the Warlock says, Berserk the manga, read it online. Old anime is all YouTube for now. Well, if I'm going to read something online, it's going to be the rock climbing one. The Boss of Cats Nick says, interesting how you don't like Escape from New York. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just, it's the way it's written. It's just so, I like the aesthetic. It's just, for some reason, I just don't really, I can't get my head into it. Kane the Warlock says, Kazlab, is it the new anime? That shit needs to die. Smitho says, hey, why did you delete all... Oh, my Christ, I'm not answering that a million fucking times, man. I've already said why. Do a little, just, I don't know. Kazlab says, it's the compilation movies of the Golden Age arc only, though. They have... Oh, my gosh, now we're talking about... I feel like Patrick that one time in the stream that shall not be named, where he was like, nine, I don't want to hear you talk about Dark Souls anymore. Like, I don't really care about Berserk, guys. Stephen Knight says, Jackie from the Darkness took over the Metropolis once and fought Super to stand off until the sun came up and Jackie lost his powers. Lol, dope character. So he's officially but he's a Top Cow character. So I guess they just agreed to do a crossover with DC. I guess that's how that works. Kane the Warlock says, so it's the... Oh, I'm just skipping all the comments about anime anymore. Oh my god. Stephen Knight says, laugh my ass off. Spawn is dope as fuck. Jamie Foxx is playing Spawn in the reboot. No, it's too fucking edgy, boy. It's fucking, because powers come from the devil. I'm like, oh my fucking god, of course they fucking do. Like, what else is edgy and just like to the point where I'm like, I can't do it. Where it's almost like it's a parody that like the band Gwar came up with, and for some reason teenagers just didn't catch on to the fact that they were like, you know, being funny or some shit like that. I don't know. Kazlab says, did they also turn Power Gamer into a Forever 21? It was a different mall that Power Gamer was in. The Annapolis Mall, first of all, the Annapolis Mall was not that fucking rinky-dink. Christ. The Annapolis Mall is an actual mall. The mall that Power Gamer was in, it was like one of the only anchor stores, and that was a very depressed ghetto area, but I liked going there for some fucking reason. And there was just like a handful of fucking stores left, and Power Gamer was keeping it alive. And as everyone knows, I made him a goddamn offer on that Zoids, but they were just like, no. And like when they closed down, like that Zoids was still fucking there. And no, so what happened was that mall got torn down and they built something there. And they gentrified the shit out of it, probably. Oh, Sam, you're calling me while I'm on stream. If you see this stream later. The Boss of Cats next says, I have a thick omnibus like that for Trigun. It's perfect. Fair enough. I think I've seen that one. I've always wanted to read the Trigun comics. I don't know how much they differ from the anime. I think it goes more into the cult that was where, what's his face? Wolfwood comes from. The Best at Games says, everything jumped. He says, what? He says, bro, what? Oh, fuck. He says, bro, what are you smoking? Hurry, I need some ASAP. You off that sheet? Okay. Kazlab says, did you ever get into Blood Blockade Battlefront? It's the next manga from the author of Trigun. No, I didn't know about that. Is the premise something that would intrigue me? What's that, please? Okay, I say that the contact friend. I'm like literally just skipping the trash comments. Kazlab says, oh shit, so that means you reached Honeybee Inn? Can't wait to hear. Oh yeah, you can't. I was pretty fucking mad. I'm not even gonna give that context, but this was just my face. This just fucking complete disapproval of that. What are you guys doing up there? Like, quit stomping with the cowboy boots, son. The Boss of Cats next says, Tolstoy, what's your Final Fantasy background? Did you play the OG FF7 or did you just jump into the remake? Yeah, I played the original. If you really want to get details into that, I made it's only a 10-minute video, but it took me a long fucking time to make, and if you pay $1 on my Patreon, I'll suck your dick. And then you can find out, there's a link on there to the private video of the review, you know. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be like a dick or nothing, but, like, I worked really hard on that fucking shit. And it still sucked. The aspect ratio is dicked up. I don't know why. It's because computers are stupid. Okay. You know how I feel about fucking computers? I've been rewatching Parks and Rec, and, like, the fucking scene with Ron Swanson, and he's like, hey, bro, get in here. He's like, I was just searching for a wooden replica of a whatever kind of ship, you know. And he's like, and all of a sudden this pop-up comes up and it says, Ron Swanson. How does it know my name? And she's like, you think that's weird? Look up your address on Google Earth. And he does it. And then, like, the next shot you see is he physically just, like, carries his computer monitor out to the fucking dumpster and throws it into the goddamn dumpster. That's how I feel about that fucking shit. Steven Knight says, have you beat Metro Exodus? I have. It was an okay game. It's kind of a mediocre last-gen shooter. Really like a PlayStation 2. Well, no, because there's some good open-world elements to it. It's mostly just its presentation. They knew the aesthetic. They knew the story that they were going for. It had vision. You know what I mean? There could have been a better designed game that was designed by committee and lacked vision and lacked coherence in the, you know, aesthetic or the narrative. This had all of that. It's just like, it's just basic shit. Also, the shooting controls were shit. The game knew of this and kind of nerfed it, though. Like, there were 4 different levels of shooting controls that you could pick, and, like, they had varying levels of autocorrect. And I'm like, guys, that's a sign that you... Which is weird, because they made the first Stalker... Well, okay, actually, people believe that Stalker actually has terrible shooting mechanics. I liked the first Stalker. After that, the shooting mechanics get shit. After that. A lot of people just complain because in the shooting mechanics of the first one, it's not a one-to-one, you know, it hit scans. What it does is it hit scans and then also rolls an invisible die, and it determines whether or not you made that hit. Now, what does that die represent? Bullets misfiring, the wind carrying them off in the wrong direction, that kind of thing. And as a dude who's shot guns, I'm like, yeah, that fucking happens. That's why it feels so good, because all you do is take cover, put the target on the fence, and then just lay down controlled, and just, like, eventually, after, like, 10 or 12 bursts, the character goes the fuck down. I think a lot of people got angry because in the later series, then they added on mechanics where it's like, yeah, these dudes can dome you in, like, one shot, but you can't dome them. And I'm like, oh, you guys programmed FF7. That's cool. Cool. No, I mean, apparently I'm doing something wrong. Here we go, and I'm gonna have to, like... part of me wants to, like, figure out the system and figure out what I did wrong, and the other part of me is like, you know, there are probably better uses of your time. You should just finish the fucking review, like... I don't know. Insert Title Gaming says, holy shit, he knows Darkside Phil. Of course. I love watching internet historian videos. Poor Darkside Phil. I feel like he gets a bad rap, but he's also kind of an internet douche. But hey, I'm also kind of an internet douche, so I understand. I'm one with the internet douches. Kane the Warlock says, Call of Cthulhu, they ram a ship into Cthulhu. No, they ram a ship into his island. In the end, they run away from him in the ship, and I believe they get crushed asunder, and the dude, like, escapes on a rowboat or something? Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I would have to, that was the last of his stories that I read, and I didn't really care as much for it as the other stories. The French-Canadian site guy said, Gamer from Mars? Never heard him. Sukabliet says, if this shit keeps up, I might go full Far Cry 5 and start my own Doomsday cult. Dude, bring me along. I might do that shit, because them leaks from The Last of Us, son. So, I don't know. Where's a good stop? Let me, speed run these questions, all right? And then we're going to talk about The Last of Cucked. Hyper Armadillo says, do you like Assassin's Creed? If so, what's your favorite game in the series? 1 and 2 were great. 3 had an amazing setting with a poor polish and a poor presentation, and it completely turned me off. Don't you ever disrespect America that way. If your game takes place during the American Revolution, then, when my costume gets changed, it shall also change in the cutscenes. It's not that hard. Put in the work, assholes. You charge $60 for half of a game. Tim Taylor says, Gwar! And then Boss of Cat says, Gwar is awesome, though. Sure. Stephen Knight says, lol, nice ringtone, pretty soothing. I find it nerve-wracking. I hate it. I actually used to make my ringtone the famous ringtone from The Matrix. That, right before he does that phone that I believe was Nokia or Motorola made, and it was called the Stiletto. Shot out. I wanted one of those so bad, but they made a limited run, and they were like $2,000 on YouTube on eBay. The Boss of Cats Nick says, yeah, comics have a lot more religious stuff with Wolfwood. Fair enough. Chris Manning says, sup, Chris. Tim Taylor says, Ron Swanson equals BDE. He does have that big dick energy. Stephen Knight says, is Parks and Recreation funny? I never watched a single episode. Yeah, it's like a funny version of The Office. It's a little dry. It's still a little kooky, but, it's less dry than The Office. Tim Taylor says, it's pretty dry, but I'd say it's good. Well, then there you fucking go. Yeah, Justin Star 89 says, hey, Tolls, how's it going, my man? It's going. Not good, but, Nick, Boss of Cats Nick says, Darkside Phil hate is well-earned, believe me. Laughing my ass off. I know he lied about his girlfriend and bought a hooker, but, haven't we all done that at Thanksgiving dinner? Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, thank you, Tolstoy. You just saved me from the void of watching Family Guy episodes on YouTube. Quarantine makes you crazy, Oh, I know. I did something I shouldn't have done. I fucking paid the toll for it, and all I can say is, don't touch the live wire again. King the Warlock says, how do you feel about the announcement of Stalker 2, which is the 4th game? Huh? Those other ones were expansions. And that makes me super excited. But I'm sure it won't come out until 2027, and I won't even have the rig powerful enough to play it. All right. Now that we've marathoned that shit, it is time to talk about The Last of Cucked. So, I actually will just probably read the... All right, I will read you the actual transcript of what my boy hit me up with this morning. Oh my fuck. Christ, this is so painful. I woke up to this morning. Last of Us 2 leaked and everyone is going apeshit. I won't spoil it for you, but they fucked up the story worse than I had ever imagined, which is insane because already the leaks that we had known about were just beyond buttfuck, but they can buttfuck it so much harder. They have to. Okay, well, we'll get to that. And I said, holy shit, send me a video or a source or something. He links me to Twitter. I have trouble reading through all of it. I eventually kind of get the gist, but he clears it up. Fuck. Okay. Transgender woman kills Joel and Ellie. Because Ellie tries to avenge him. Transgender... Fuck. Okay, wait. Okay, yeah, I don't know. It's so fucked up. Transgender then tries to kill Ellie's girlfriend, and then Ellie herself, she ends up successfully killing Ellie. Then you play as the transgender for the last half of the game. And then I just said, do you actually believe that this is because of some kind of incompetence, or do you think there's some sort of agenda that was forced on them? And he says, I think it's a mixture of both bad writers who want to push an agenda that they actually believe in. And I went, nah. I mean, like, Illuminati level shit. No one can be this incompetent. Every industry is getting fucked to death because they simply must get woke. There's no way the board of directors can't see that it's losing them money. Like, I legitimately don't fucking believe in it. Anyway, that's so... Let me see if I can... I texted this to another dude. And this is kind of an interesting one. So this is a dude who's a personal friend of mine who had a... No, I don't want I don't want to reveal that, so I'll cut off the end of it. But I said the script for The Last of Us 2 got leaked. Both Joel and Ellie get murked by a proud transgendered woman who survives a zombie bite by cutting off her own arm before she goes on to kill the evil cult of patriarchal white religious men. There are even rumors that Ellie gets raped by one of them. I'm just okay. And then after that, we don't discuss what. But well, I just wrote, and then I thought every time they touch something in the series, the series just dies in the zeitgeist. What happens when they've perfectly and absolutely fucked every IP to ever exist within human history? Like, what fucking happens when they take the Iliad and they're just like, yeah, but what if Homer, or that's the Odyssey. Iliad is the same thing as the Odyssey? Well, okay, I don't know my Greek shit. You know, what happens when they take, you know, every fucking thing, Paul Bunyan, whatever, and they go, well, he didn't have a robot dildo, let's give him a robot strap-on. Like, what will happen when everything is woke and then they all go broke? Like, I can't even... You go make a scene where Ellie gets raped? Are you fucking sure that this is not going to backfire on you heinously? Are you fucking sure that this is what America wants? So the people who played the game really loved Ellie. Probably don't want to see her get raped. The people who haven't played the game, who you think you're going to get that audience, they usually don't like people getting raped, Jerry. I don't think this is a good idea, Cuckman. Oh, I don't fucking know. The Boss of Cats Nick says, escort thing is a lie. Lore is insurmountably deep, but he's basically just a habitual liar. Really? No, so what, you think that was his actual girlfriend? Because she was attractive. I believe it was an escort. I am very willing to believe that Darkseid Phil paid a woman to pretend that she was his girlfriend. And again, you know, I mean, Thanksgiving dinner fucking happens and it shuts your aunt up. You know what I mean? I've never really done that. I wish. Fuck, I would contact an escort. I do not give a fuck. I will literally, I hold hookers in the highest fucking esteem, man. Like, it cuts the goddamn bullshit. Ma'am, I will pay you money to suck my dick. You know? Fucking wonderful. That shit is what America was based off of. Kane the Warlock says, they said 2021 for release. Okay, and I still won't have a computer powerful enough by that point, so... Fuck. I'll be playing it by 2027, maybe. I need gains. I do as well. It directs his at Kane Warlock. I thought the original devs for Stalker went under and it's a new studio. Nope, it's the Deep Silver. Deep Silver is the same studio, I believe. It's the same studio that it's maybe a different publisher. The Boss of Cats Nick says, I never cared for The Last of Us, but these leaks just seem horrendous. What the fuck were they thinking? Exactly. It makes me believe that there is an Illuminati agenda. I don't fucking know. I literally told my brother, I can't imagine that anyone would write this without a demon that was just sitting on their table, crouched like a gargoyle over top of their fucking, you know, typewriter. And every time they try to write something positive about a man, it goes, no. And and just erases it and then just says, and then he's a racist. And it goes, yes. I was thinking about that, man. And I may have made this. I may have done this bit before. But like, remember? And we were talking about this earlier. Fucking not the Grapes of Wrath. To Kill a Mockingbird. So remember how like about 10 years ago, and my mom was an English teacher, and she loved fucking To Kill a Mockingbird. So I grew up, you know, told that I had to read that, and it was a good fucking read. It's a great book, a good movie production too. And then all of a sudden, right before she dies, Harper Lee, who literally said, I will never write another book because she's like, I knocked it out of the park so hard, I know I can never do that again. And I'm like, mad respect. So she's in this nursing home, and she's shaky and old and a day from death. And all of a sudden, her lawyer is like, well, Mrs. Harper, I found this manuscript in your desk, teehee. You wrote this, right? And Harper Lee is like, I like coffee, you know? And they're like, uh-huh. And then they published it as Harper Lee, and it's called Ghost at a Watchman. And it's an alternate SJW telling of the original novel that supposedly she wrote before the other novel. Okay? So I'm going to spoil everything about it for you, and I don't care if you don't like literature. If you haven't read the book, like the original To Kill a Mockingbird, then what did my tax dollars pay for? Didn't you get an education from my tax dollars? Like, I would like my money back. You should have read it already. So there's this really great scene halfway through where Atticus goes to go sit by the courthouse to defend his client with nothing other than, like, a lamp that he brings. I forget what the fuck he plugs it into. Like, how would he... Because it's an electric lamp. In the movie, it's, like, shown like an extension cord or some shit like that. It doesn't really describe it in the book, but I think he brings, like, a chair. He's sitting on the jailhouse, steps with a book, and essentially a crowd of these, local Alabamans who are all angry at his client. He's defending him because he's accused of raping a white woman. The client is black. Like, well, it's a lynch mob. We're going to lynch him. It's the South, 1950s. Okay. So, they all show up. Well, he told his daughter, the lawyer, Atticus, who's supposed to be this, like, he's our hero. He's the fucking paragon of truth and fucking justice. He's Vash the Stampede, but he's a fucking lawyer. Actually, it's very Vash-esque. It's very, I won't do violence. I'm just going to ask you, please don't do this shit. He's fucking there, and he's standing in the doorway, and they're like, we don't want to lynch you, Atticus, because, we kind of think you're a nice guy, pillar of the community, but, like, we got to lynch, your client, so unfuck yourself and get out of the doorway. And he's just stalling for time. Then Atticus's daughter, who he told to stay the fuck home, shows up. And she's just fucking confused because she's 8 and has no idea what the social context of this. And there's, like, this really cool scene where it's basically like, it's a very humanity restored moment because essentially a child doesn't understand the concept of racism or what's fucking going on. And she sees all these men and she's just like, well, I know half of you guys. And she sees someone whose kid she plays with and she's like, hey, tell Jerry I said, hey. And he's stunned and he can't say anything. And she's like, well, won't you, mister? Won't you tell him? And, like, everyone is just shamed. And it establishes that, like, yeah, they're fucking racist, but, like, maybe we can shame them into not being so racist. Like, it's not completely fucking impossible. Like, you can redeem a human fucking being. Great fucking book, right? And, by the end, all the, read the rest of it. I'm not going to spoil the rest of it for you. So in To Go Set a Watchman, that scene is replaced for a scene where she finds out that her father is passing out literature of white supremacy and participating in Ku Klux Klan rallies, and he's evil because he's a man, but don't worry, she's a powerful woman, and she has feminism. Yeah, Harper Lee didn't write that shit. A demon came unto the lawyer and went, I'll give you power! And the lawyer went, and decided to write that fucking shit. Like, and my mom tried to stack up for it. She's like, no, it's not a bad novel. It's just that that's one of the only things that my mother tried to defend that literally just made me just almost lose my shit. The other one was when she was watching Call the Midwife, and it's some British BBC cuckery show, literally about cuckery. A woman has a child on that is clearly not her husband, and her husband's such a beta bitch that he's like, well, we'll name him after my grandfather. And my mom was like, aw, that's so nice. And I'm like, this offends Allah on every fucking... shame. You will see. The angels will judge you on Day of Judgment. Allah does not agree with this fucking shit. Okay. I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but I'm not fucking wrong. And it's also that in 10 years, they can put that on the reading list and they can replace that. So kids can grow up instead of, learning about heroics. Like, I'm going to make an alternate universe where Vash is knives and he just murders everyone on Planet Gunsmoke. And it just ends with everyone dying. By the way, it's in Silver Linings Playbook. Remember the end where it's not in the end, it's in the very beginning. And Bradley Cooper is trying to, like, read the syllabus for his estranged wife's, reading list, because his wife is an English teacher, and he's reading A Farewell to Arms or some shit like that, and just, he closes it, and he goes, what the fuck? And he just throws it out a window, and he's having a psychotic breakdown, and he's ranting to his parents at 3 a.m. about Ernest Hemingway, and it's a great fucking scene. I look that up. It's the way that I feel about that. Where he just, do you think the world is hard enough as it is, guys, without Ernest Hemingway fucking it up? You know what I mean? And his dad, who's Robert De Niro, is like, you need to apologize for this. He's like, I won't apologize. Ernest Hemingway needs to apologize. That's how I fucking feel about that. The French-Canadian guy says, the transgender woman is supposedly the kid of one of the scientists who dies when Joel raided the Firefly camp at the end. Yeah, right, and that's another thing, and it's just... So one of the last few people on left in the world is transgender, and of course well, if it's a man to a woman, then it's she, of course. So she is, of fucking course. God damn. Wait, we've had this conversation before. I've done this live stream before. I deleted this live stream because it's something that I'm gonna say in like 30 minutes. Ooh, oh God. Oh, I'm getting psychic. Why? What did I say? What was it? Well, let's not get too Jonesian. Oh God, and I even remember that comment. The next comment by Kane was the Iliad not gay enough already. Yeah, no. Well, because they're men gay. Remember, in the weird racially hierarchical theocratic SJW, covenant, and they are the fucking covenant. Male gay is not as powerful as female gay. I recently found this out, that never mind. Nope. Don't. I'm confused on the rankings because I'm not an insane theocratic racist, so I don't know or fucking care. But I found out that the rankings aren't what I thought. Like, I put my money on but as it turns out, would get more points than, and it doesn't fucking make sense. Like, that just seems wrong. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It'd be like, well, transgendered Native American clearly outranks you on that. Nope, they're the top. And I'm like, really? Like, it's almost like, yeah, actually, okay. So look at fucking, well, I don't know. I was going to say, shouldn't the brutes from Halo outrank the fucking Sangheili? Like, motherfuckers, you fight with laser swords. Like, that's stupid. What are you, a Jedi? Like, fucking, what's-his-face? The brutes have lead throwers. Like, fuck off. The Boss of Cats Nick says, he's married. He flew a woman across the country from Michigan to marry her. No one knows her background, but she wasn't a hooker. All right. Well, I mean, interesting. Maybe she was a mail-order bride. I don't think about that. Stephen Knight says, I listened to the Legacy of Maine I think he meant Legacy of Kain Defiant soundtrack the other day. Man, the nostalgia sucks up. The developers fell apart. So I actually recently managed to get Blood Omen 2. No, not Blood Omen fucking 2. Soul Reaver 2 working on the PC box. But the PC controls were beyond fucking disgusting. And I Hail Married this shit. I was just like, do you think that if we plug in a 360 controller that I can, and somehow I managed to rig it up so it almost works, and then the game kind of got ugly and repetitive, the combat's kind of stupid, it didn't age well. The story is amazing. The story is fucking amazing. The gameplay is not. Well, I guess I didn't get to any major puzzles. Yeah, I don't know, man. As I'm getting older, I'm just less and less interested with video games. I don't know. Or maybe my attention span is just fucking going to shit. Maybe I need to, I don't know, quit watching YouTube or something. Tim Taylor says, say it. Say it. I don't know why right now you're the Green Goblin, but you're, say it. Finish it. I know I'm really the Green Goblin. I look like Willem. I wish I looked like Willem Dafoe. I don't give a fuck that he looks like a goblin. That shit's great. I Need Gaines says, say that sheet. Then Tim Taylor says, say it. Finish it. Deliver us from evil. Well, no. Yeah. Right. And then I know nope. It's just the rankings didn't seem right. You're just like, I didn't know. And I kept asking him, why don't you just go to that, that agency within the company that's supposed to fix things? I'm like, you surely have enough points. And he didn't want to do it. And I'm just like, okay. And then I found out, no, yeah, the other one is more fucking ridiculous, man. The rankings of the Covenant are insane. Like, they're fucking insane. Like, let's just activate the rings and give them what they want so they can nuke everything. Stephen Knight says, Xbox took away Prey, but I think beginning of next month they're giving us Red Dead Redemption 2, so I kind of forgive them. Lol, I miss Prey. It's a great game. Unfortunately, oh, that's right, we used to have to buy it. I was going to say, like, I can get Red Dead Redemption off of PSN, but, like, I thought you meant for free, because PlayStation Network recently gave away a bunch of shit for free. Some waffle fries. Boss of Cats Nick says, Mail Order Bride would be hilarious, and I wouldn't even be mad. I mean, no, I'm not even going to throw my hat. Because I was about to say, is it really immoral to end just Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my hands? Like, nope. I'm not going to throw my fucking hat into that shit. I'm going to keep it funny, Steven. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, we'll meet again, Spider-Man. I need I wonder what they go for. I'm going to look up on Wamazon. I'm going to see what they must have Green Goblin action figures. Fuck, I'll review it on Patreon, and that way they'll still catch you on Patreon. Ooh, girl. Sorry. One of my Facebook boos or whatever just posted up something new, so she can get all them fucking likes. But I'm not gonna like it. But I'm in reality while on stream, I'm gonna say ooh, girl. Okay, Green Goblin. We'll see what this does. By the way, I looked up toilet paper on this shit because I still can't get any, and we're down to the last roll. And fucking. Oh no, the first thing that comes up is Green Goblin Drain Cleaner. I did not fucking know that scientist made made fucking Drain Cleaner action figure. What do we got? They got the classic. The classic design from the cartoons and the comics. I want to see the one from the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. No, that's basically you're a shit out of luck. That shit ain't. Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. How much they want for this green piece of shit? You know. Yeah, I'm not trying your Amazon app. Thank you. Get fucked. Oh, fuck. Hang on. I gotta check something. Just bear with me. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Damn, and they want $80 for it. No, man. God damn. It's a shitty ass action figure. You fucking know, man. I can find that shit at a fucking, I don't know where I can find that fucking shit. Tim Taylor says if she's hot though. She ain't bad, man. She's getting on in years, but she's either aging really well or a master of that fucking makeup. I don't think she's using filters. I can't tell, but it's all right. Nice. The Boss of Cats Nick says, nah, she looked like a potato woman. Hot potato. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck off, all y'all. God damn, y'all are some savages. Stephen Knight says, have you seen the Midnight Gospel? I just watched the first episode of Midnight Gospel the other day, and I was just like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, I'm not sure if I want to see the second episode, but yeah, that was pretty fucking dope. Tim Taylor says, I've been leaves and shit. Oh, you've been using leaves? All right. Well, I'm probably going to end up using books. But, it's not as absorbent. It's not going to get you fucking clean, man. You're going to be walking around feeling all dirty and shit. And for everyone who's like, just take a shower. You don't want to get shit in my shower? What's wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? Kane the Warlock says, it's the hex value. Isn't it? The hex value. No, I have no idea. Stephen Knight says, the creator of Adventure Time's new show on Adult Swim. I saw the first episode last night, and I know for a fact it'll have you laughing your ass off. Yeah, I wasn't really, I was just laughing on the inside, and I was just like fucking watching that shit, and I'm just like, so the first episode, I'm interested to find out like what the variety of topics are. Like, is it all political, or does it all involve philosophy? Because it seems like a trippy show, so I don't see them using that same format to discuss gun crime. And if they do, weird. But, yeah, creative. I'm surprised because, I figured Pendleton Ward would be off bootlicking somewhere at, ooh, my lunch came up. I could taste it, man. Have you ever seen Extraction on Netflix? It's like John Wick, but with Thor, basically because it's Chris Hemsworth, lol. It wasn't that bad. I really like it a lot. Yeah, I haven't even seen John Wick, though. So I've actually seen neither of those. I'm sure John Wick is good. I really like Keanu, and I admire him for actually going and getting like the real firearms training. It's just, I don't know. I have to be in the right mood to see it. I don't know. I think I'm put off on it because a friend of mine drugged me to see Taken 3 in theaters, and it was just so it was so AIDS. I think it threw me off those, I don't know, like those weird movies that are essentially just FPSs. Like, there really is no other plot. He's just shooting people, which is fine, but if that case, make it a video game. Like, they did. It was John Woo's Stranglehold. Yeah, it's basically just the killer, I'm guessing. It's kind of basically just the killer if you think fucking about it. Kane, I still don't get it. Is the color? No. Do fucking Green Goblin, and they want $80. Nice. Now I'm just like, look at it. Damn, the bitch comes up again. Man, they really want me to hit that hoe up. But I heard she went back to her husband, so we're not doing that shit. Fuck. Then Tim says, you'd like John Wick. Yeah. It's on my list. The last recommendation that I took was from Patrick for a horror movie called The Witch, and I really fucking enjoyed that. Good suggestion. I guess the thing is, like, I usually just don't watch a lot of movies because, like, my days have been filled with, just busy, until I hit the pillow. I was keeping myself occupied, and now we're fucking stuck in quarantine, and I find it's easier to watch films if you get trashed, but it's also easier to go through alcohol withdrawals and have terrifying nights if you get trashed, so that's a thing that we can't do. Like, I got that case of seltzer, hard seltzer out there in case shit went belly up and my hands started to palsy. And, like, part of me is thinking, like, you can have a couple of them, because essentially as long as you're not, like, day drinking, which is what I was doing, as long as you're not pounding Everclear, which is what I was doing. Fuck. Nope. Gonna stay on the straight and narrow. Steven says, John Wick is amazing, bro. It's like Mr. Anderson never left the Matrix, but became badass anyway. Laughed my ass off. All 3 movies are dope. Fuck, I forgot they'd come out with 3. I've heard they're on number 4. Omniseal says, I wonder if people on Twitch can get banned for being on their phones for too long. No, I'm just waiting for you all to fill up the shit, man. Look, if I could do, like, if I could get, memes or whatever, and somehow pose them onto the screen, if the technology would allow me to make this slightly more fucking entertaining, I definitely fucking would, man. But unfortunately, we are limited by, whatever the issue is, man. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, I swear Willem Dafoe's in it. In what? Stephen Knight says, the 4th John Wick is going to come out the same day as The Matrix 4. Jesus Christ. It's getting too fucking weird and memey. The Boss of Cats next says, The Witch is awesome. You'd like The Lighthouse too. Same director. Similar New England vibes, but more Lovecrafty. Yeah. Oh, still ruined with that flapjack thing. Tim Taylor says, I saw The Witch by myself in the theater. It was a good experience. Hell yeah. It was okay. I really liked it. It was really well done. I actually really enjoyed the character of the father being essentially a moderate pilgrim, Like, they could have gone for that fucking trope. They could have been Last of Us 2, but instead they were like, wait a minute. What if in a nation of 60% Christian people, we don't piss them off, but we also make a reasonable character who has good character development, who has regrets and guilt, who struggles, with his faith and shit like that. What if we had that so that normies might, some non-Christians might also enjoy? Like, maybe if we just had, like, the human element and the human experience in there, And then I'm sure someone in the writing room was like, but where's the transgender? And I'm sure that someone just whipped out their dick and just smacked him in the face and was like, shut the fuck up. Okay. And, yeah. Honestly, though, obviously the dumbass way that I wanted it, well, yeah, I won't spoil the ending, but, there was a different way that I kind of wanted it to end. But it still wasn't bad. Great ending. Didn't really scare me, though. Not a scary film. Worth seeing, not scary. I'm an opera singer now. Kane says, The Boss of Cats, you mean the live-action Flapjack. Exactly. Yeah, it's a really good film, that live-action Flapjack. God damn it. Fool of a toque. The Omnisil says, nothing against you, I'm just literally asking. Huh? And Willem Dafoe's in the first John Wick. All right. I do like Willem Dafoe. Fuck. Tim Taylor says, The Lighthouse was good, but the goo. The goo! Stephen Knight says, the scene with the witch and the baby, oh my god, lol, fuck me. Yeah, okay, that was good. It had all the elements of really good horror. It just didn't personally ring my bell. I don't really know, it's like, Hereditary was like the last movie that really kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm trying to think, like, what's the last movie that truly terrified me? Like, if there is anything that really, any kind of horror movie, it would be a while since then. Probably Sinister. But I saw Sinister in theaters with a girl who was a scaredy cat, and she flipped out and literally like a cartoon, grabbed my fucking, the scruff of my neck and went, and I did that fucking shit, which, hey man, that helps. That's always good. The Boss of Cat says, more of an unsettling movie. Yeah, and then Steven says, yeah, it's more just disturbing. Yeah, and that's interesting. And again, like I said, they handle the lore well. They did, I think that's why I actually really appreciate it, is that a lot of times people will take, that lore and then just run with it and make it whatever, Last of Us 2 bullshit you want to do. And, I can't even, like, list examples right now, but just The Preacher, because it's Christian iconography. Like, because halfway through, I'm, like, watching it, and they're like, yeah, man, it's the goat. And I'm like, hey, you leave the fucking goat alone, because I fucking love goats. And then in my mind, I was like, why the fuck did Christians adopt the goat as the symbol of the devil? And like I realized, I was like, oh yeah, because Christianity is mostly just that early fucking, cult that was an offshoot of, Judaism, and it merged with Roman paganism. So Mother Mary, Earth Mother Gaia, Satan is, which doesn't even make any sense because they assigned it the symbol of Pan. Pan was the goat. He's the god of. He's a chaos god, but like the god of the underworld who you would more closely associate with Satan is Brain wants to say Hermes. No. Is Hades, which doesn't even fucking make any sense because like the Bible does actually use the word in Greek Hades to describe the pit, and I'm just like, but Hades isn't a place, he's a person or a god. Fucking leave the goats alone, man. But other than that, like the fact that it was true to, Christian lore, for respectfully, if you don't think that was, if you don't subscribe to that religion, you don't consider it lore, you consider it the truth, but you would also consider Hinduism having lore. So let's just keep it funny, Steven. But yeah, the fact that they didn't just take it and go fucking butt fuck with it, and like The Preacher, or any other film where they're just like, yeah, man, this is totally in the Bible, and I'm like, it's fucking not. You went off road 30 goddamn minutes ago, and you have no idea where we are, bud. Sukabliat says, good night, kids, and remember, pay the e-girl titties, go to a simp city. Fuck, man. And then he says Midsummer is better than Hereditary. Yeah, that's on my list. Patrick also recommended me that. I'm gonna go ahead and fucking watch that shit too. He said it actually had like it had personal meaning for him, and I would actually also say Hereditary had some personal meaning for me. So we'll fucking see. I do respect the director. He did a good job with that other one, despite the fact that I disagree with some of the things that he did. And then Tim Taylor agrees, baby goats are fucking awesome. Hell yeah. I wonder if I still have that clip on my phone I could show you of me trying to... Me and Hal just went to this fucking park that just randomly had... God damn. And my ex is posting pictures of her playing that weird... What's that? The Animal Crossing? And she has her character all dressed up as fucking what's-her-face, as Ashley from... Resident Evil 4. Sorry, that kind of gets to me because, like, she was always wanting me to do a cosplay with her as Leon Kent, which doesn't make any sense. I'm not blonde. I mean, I'm badass, but I'm not blonde. Yeah, they got wigs. I don't wear no wigs. I'm a man! I'm a man! Anyway. So. Really? Fuck me. Okay, what was it? Oh yeah, my phone, my clip of Anyway, we go to this fucking park, and there's just this goddamn goat, and I fucking love goats. And I tried to feed it, but I didn't want to get my hands in its jowls, but... Pro tip, goats have actually evolved over the years, over thousands of years, to respond positively and to walk up to the image of a human smiling face. How could they choose the symbol, like, oh, that's the devil? Like, nah. You know what would be, like, what's... Fucking cats, man. And I love cats, but, like, they're shitbags. And they're the descendants of animals that hunted us in the jungle, so, like, Scrolling. Sorry, it was way far back. It was right before the quarantine began, which was, like, 2 months ago. Someone please end my suffering. There's all my boot gear laid out. What? Oh, my God. That was back when I took a screen cap of the death count, and it was at 10,000. How far we've come. La 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 la. There we go. You fucking goat, man. Well, let's see if you can... You go. Oh no, there's tiny ones. There were tiny ones. He was like trying to get at the grass on the other side. You got the vegetation, my dude. What the fuck? I love goats. Goats are fun. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, Us is really good. Okay, wait, no. I'm super sorry, man. Gotta disagree with you. Is that... I'm gonna look it up before I fucking bad talk it. Because I think I know what you're talking about, and it's... Yep. Okay. Fucking okay. Look, man. I really like Key and Peele. As comedy writers and skit producers, I actually think... Well, okay, from a production standpoint, they blew the hinges off of any of the previous funny men that Comedy Central tried to greenlight. From a comedy perspective, I really actually like them better than Dave Chappelle, and I fucking love Dave Chappelle, okay? But their comedy is just sweeter and funnier and less offensive, and it gives it that South Park, kind of feel, where it's like, yeah, we'll say some edgy stuff, but for the most part, a lot of it is just, wacky, stupid humor, which I can really get behind, I really like that. Okay. So when Jordan Peele was like, yeah, man, I'm going to make horror movies, I was like, what? And he's like, all right. And then he makes that first one, Get Out. And I saw the trailer for it in the theaters, and I was like, okay, all right, I see you. All right. So eventually, and I think, I actually watched that while I had a collapsed lung. That was one of the films that I chose to watch. And it took my mind off the pain because it was so insanely painful. Like, what do you want? What do you want me to say, guy? Come on, I'm gonna fucking say about The Last of Us. Like, it's so. I don't care about the film, so spoilers if you haven't seen it. I'm not going to give you the whole details, but I'm just going to go out there and say it. So I first thought that the movie was about organ thieves, which by the way, that's actually a real thing. The organ thieves target black people on a higher average because most of their organs tend to be more compatible with everybody else. Why is that? I don't fucking know. I didn't look into it. I don't fucking know. This was told to me by a trusted friend who's in the medical field, who works with like organ donors and shit. And then they're like, okay, and actually the concept of like the psychosurgery to like implant somebody's thoughts, or like, we're gonna body shift, and the aesthetic and the way that it looked in the surgery room, that was all actually really fucking cool. I liked that. But the basic premise of like, yeah, man, white people want to be black, I'm like, no, man, I don't. Maybe some people do. I don't fucking know. It's fucking weird. Why'd you gotta put a racial element on it, my guy? I was about to give you my money. We were so... Actually, I guess I already did. I paid for the goddamn film on Amazon or some shit like that. But I was just like, you were so close, Jordan. So fucking close. The whole thing with the TSA guy, that was a massive waste of fucking time. Like, I get you're trying to add some comic relief in there. It's a little too heavy. It's too fucking heavy. I did not care about the TSA guy. So then it comes up the film Us. And I'm already worried. I'm like, is it SJW bullshit? They're like, yeah, man, it's a commentary about how, like black people are all forgotten and hated by the rest of the... Okay, man, even if that's true, what's the deal? The U.S. government makes a secret race of clones of all of us that for some reason are psychically controlled by us and live underground. And then we don't even solve it by the end. And I'm just, my guy, you're gonna, I will quote Eddie Murphy's Coming to America. Now listen, son, if you're gonna work here, you gotta stay off the drugs. All right? Like, no, Us was not a good film. I watched a review of it, and I was just like, what the fuck? I barely understood the goddamn review. Stephen Knight says, very disturbing the way they portrayed it, shaking my head. Do you watch CinemaSins on YouTube or movies they've watched? I did watch CinemaSins for a while, but then they just got so fucking negative. And I realized they were looking for things to hate on in every single film, even good films, because that's their bread and butter, to the point where I kind of just felt like they were like, hating on a movie just because, you know what I mean? Just because it was their job. As opposed to like Nostalgia Critic, who I feel like gives a way more level-headed review of something and just kind of does friendly yucks and, makes more skits whenever. They just up the skit production every time the movie doesn't even have a lot of flaws. In fact, one of the best reviews he ever did was a movie that didn't have a lot of flaws, which was his Wonder Woman review. Like I have to fucking admit, and I'm going to spoil it for you here. If you haven't seen it, it's still worth a watch. The way that as a YouTuber he was handling trying to review films that were coming out by just making skits to represent what happens in the movie and making cute, parody of it on a live action on a stage with a green screen, that's fucking genius. A lot of people thought it was hokey. As a hokey-ass YouTuber, I liked it. In the very fucking end where, just look up the end of his, where he's like, the hand cake, you have to take it. The hand give, I'm diabetic. Yeah, I can't give it back to the hand. It will literally kill me. do I eat the cake? Yeah, you can do whatever you want with the cake. And then they just cut to Wonder Woman doing the solo, and he's just fucking eating cake. Like, that was pretty non sequitur and funny. The boss of Cats Nick says goats are weirdly friendly. Well, yeah, because we've domesticated them. But it's just like, I just feel like they get this bad rap, and they're just so stupid and cute, and I love them. Willing to Froze Fruitcake says, yeah, goats are great. Stephen Knight, stream's in excellent condition for the first time in like an hour. Stephen Knight says, I didn't like Us as much as Get Out. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for either of them. Get Out was definitely better. Yeah, but like a lot. Because at least the premise wasn't shit. I mean, the weird racial element they had to throw in there, like, well, that was fucking awkward, and I just didn't care for it. But, like, you know, the idea of the psychosurgery versus, like, there's secret clones of us that are living under the earth, but they control us with a psychic, or we control them with it. Fucking what? That's a pumpkin? What? Pumpkin what? Pumpkin? Pumpkin what? What? Pumpkin? That was a what pumpkin moment for me. And then, Steven says, I'm excited about Jordan Peele's Candyman. Okay. Like, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. There's a horror movie that had a racial element in it, but it wasn't fucking stupid. And of all of the hokey-ass 80s, horror films with a boogeyman in it, that's a very, unique flavor of horror film, boogeyman, which actually there was a fucking horror film called Boogeyman with a boogeyman in it, and I didn't care for it. The second one was okay. But I don't get it. They keep the boogeyman wakes up every 25 years, and they keep it on a scarecrow. Motherfucker, if you have 25 years, bury it in concrete and put it in the earth. I don't understand. Like, what are you, afraid you're not going to get a third film greenlit? I think they'd made a third film. So of all the hokey-ass 80s, Chucky's and your whatever, yeah, Candyman was probably the better of them. I don't remember much about it. But I remember watching it when I was 8. Not even making that shit up. It was Halloween. And I remember that year I was doing some kind of, play with the childrens. Well, the older kids thought it'd be funny to tell all the younger kids that backstage behind that door, it was a utility closet, backstage behind that door, that's where the Candyman lives. Well, I'm fucking 8, and I've never heard of that shit before. So I'm just like, the Candyman? Fucking epic! Let me get back there. And all the teachers were just like, no, you can't go there. I was like, man, the Candyman's back there. God damn it. Oh yeah, somebody actually corrects me there. That it's not called Boogeyman. It's called Jeepers Creepers. What am I thinking of? There is one called Boogeyman. Fuck. God damn, I'm getting old. I burned out my brain cells on Everclear. God damn it. Anyway, and brain fart. And then I came home, from Halloween from trick-or-treating with my dad, and my brother and my mother were watching like a horror, and he was 5 years older than me, so I guess she thought it's not appropriate for fucking kids. It did horrify me a little bit, but it was actually okay. Like, I didn't, lose sleep over it. I just thought about the idea of what he represents, and I was like, oh, fuck, So, yeah, but here's oh my god, it's just, so he's gonna redo Candyman, and are they gonna make it stupid and nasty? They're gonna. Like, I don't understand, consider the fucking following. Star Trek was already leftist. It was appropriately leftist. For those of you who don't actually even know, a couple tidbits. So Gene Roddenberry actually had to rewrite the pilot because he issued the pilot with a lady as the first officer on the ship on the Star Trek underneath Captain Pike. It was Pike before it was Kirk, and played by Jeffrey Hunter, and who was also Jesus. If you didn't know, he was in a movie. Not in real life, I hope. I hope it wasn't Jesus. Long story short, yeah, the studio rejected that shit. Like, you can't put a woman in power. So when he redid it, he made the, communications officer a black lady. He upped the fucking ante. He's like, fuck you, I'll do whatever I want. I'm Gene Roddenberry. Because he was like, it's the future. They're not going to give a shit. And he continued to piss off the studio by adding in, Japanese, because we had just finished a war with the Japanese. He adds a Russian guy in there to be like, yeah, man, in the future, we won't even fight the Russians. That was his post-scarcity future world that he was trying to paint. Believe it or not, the lady who played Uhura went to the church. She literally went to the church where Martin Luther King would preach, and he caught her one Sunday as she was, leaving, and they got to talking, and he was like, so what you gonna do? And she said, I'm going to leave Trek, and I want to go back to working on Broadway. And he literally was like, don't do that. And she's like, why? And he's like, there are only 2 programs that my children can watch. And one of them is Sunday Church, whatever, some kind of broadcast by Billy, who the fuck, Billy Graham, or I don't know, some preacher, some televangelist. Only one televangelist, and Star Trek. And he's like, because for once on Star Trek, we see a lady who's black and she isn't all, stereotyped. Please continue to work on Star Trek. And she fucking did. And a lot of people say that was the first interracial kiss. It was not, actually. That was on a weird program called The Farm with Lulu or some shit like that. Why do I know all this? God damn. This is why your brain has trouble remembering things, because you remember too much stupid shit. So, it was a very left-leaning program. Fine. It wasn't done retardedly. I don't know how else to explain this shit to you, But, look what they did with it. Look what Star Trek Discovery is. And what my favorite thing is so they take the Klingons. Let me tell you about the Klingons. We're getting into this. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck with my windows down and my system up. So, the Klingons were my favorite aliens growing up as a kid. And Worf was my favorite character on Next Gen. Not because he was black. That would be fucking stupid. It's because he was strong. You know what I mean? At like 8 years old, I'm like, he's the strongest one? Badass. And everyone else is like, he's not the captain. That doesn't matter. He's strong. Actually, really, like, legit, like, it was Star Trek First Contact, if you've never fucking seen it. That scene where they go out on the out of the outer hull to fight to set up the, array. And they start using their lasers, but the Borg adapt. And fucking Worf just pulls out a dagger and is like, and just cuts fucking limbs off. And he just shoots the thing, simulate this. Like, I love Michael Dorn, love the Klingons. They're my favorite alien race in anything. I mean, like, up there is maybe, like, Vortigaunts. I like the Vortigaunts, that's it. I don't give a shit about sci-fi, but I like the fucking Klingons. They're badass, they're tough. That's what I like about them. So, when they went to go do Star Trek Discovery, they were like, well, we'll make the Klingons. And I'm like, don't fucking do it. It's right up there next to The Last of Us. Like, don't you fucking... And I had, like, a Worf action figure. I had a lot of Star Trek action figures, but Worf was the first. Then I think I got a Data, Riker, because he had that fucking beard. I got Picard near the end, but I got, like, the limited edition Picard with, like, the gray outfit from First Contact, so, like, joke's on you. I got the good one. So, in the new Star Trek, they said, well, we'll use the Klingons to make them evil Trumpuloids. And I'm like, don't you fucking blaspheme, I'll kill all of you. And what I really I went to the Star Trek experience in Vegas. I knew a phrasing Klingon, and I talked to a Klingon bitch. And she was actually cool. And she took pictures with me. That was a cool experience. Like, I don't go to Disney World because I'm not into Operation MK Ultra. I'm not into laugh and clap, CIA. But, I liked Star Trek growing up as a kid. And I fucking see a Klingon, and I'm like, that's fucking cool. Kapla, man. And she was like, no. And that's really, by the way, how they say hello. Except for it doesn't mean hello. It means, what do you want? You know what I mean? She was great. Anyway. But they had to fucking do it. They had to stick their filthy little tiny SJW penises in it. And they decided to make them the Trumpuloids. And whereas the original for them was Kapla, which I don't know what that roughly translates to. It's something like, honor and whatever the fuck. Now they made the Remain Klingon. Well, because they're bad guys again, even though they were the Allies. But wait, I don't even care. Yeah, Remain Klingon. Because obviously, losing your heritage and your national identity. Oh, that's just evil. Remain. Well, we're not even to the best part yet. So how do you stick it to the evil Trumpuloids? Well, for whatever reason, we're going to make them all blue people. So, you know how, like, actors have a really hard time finding work? And you know how it's like, if you're a black actor, like, that might be a boon for you to, like, that, as a Klingon, they're looking for black people. So, like, you can fucking sign up and, like, you might be as an extra, and that'll help you pay the fucking bill. No, man, fuck the black people, though. Let's just go ahead and make them Trumpuloids and make them blue. Like, you took a classic role. Anyway, I was on this. This is probably why I had to delete the stream the last time we did this in the Dow-verse. But, I mean, am I fucking wrong? Like, so my whole point is, to bring it back. Okay, so Jordan Peele's going to redo the Candyman. They can always fuck it up. They can make it worse. They can make it fucking worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go ahead. We'll see what it is. The Omni-Seal says, Tolstoy hates Jordan Peele's writing. He's right. You got me. Yeah. Well, everyone is these days, so fuck it. I must be. Which, Stephen Knight says, started watching The Walking Dead the other day, and I stopped watching it on Season 3 like 7 years ago. Really? Season 3 is dope. It's the best season. Season 4 is definitely not bad. After that, actually, you know what? 5 is not bad because Terminus, actually, it's either 4 or 5 has one of the most brutal goddamn scenes. And I'm only gonna clue you in with, you're my brother, Daryl. That's it. After that line, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And after that, it's goes downhill. So just you can stop after that. Actually, I don't know, because they do go to Atlanta, and there is this cool scene in the hospital, and they got the kid from Everybody Hates Chris, so he doesn't last fucking long. I Need Gain says, we read them to be that way. I don't know what we're talking about. Soldier Side System says, oh, Jesus, he's back. Jessica Miller says, if you haven't already told us, how long did your lung collapse? 3 days. 3 fucking days. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, Soldier Side, he's way out of your league, dude. Well, Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, yeah, thinking about it, it doesn't make sense at all. Like, I know I've ranted for 10 hours, so it's all gonna fucking jump, and I can already see where these comments are going, and I don't give a fuck. You know that I don't. And you know that I'm not wrong. Like, what are you gonna say? It was good that they robbed black actors of their possible, of their work. Are you really gonna back them up on that one? Okay. You do you, boo-boo. Trying to find my place. Everyone corrects me on the fact that it was Jeepers Creepers, not the Boogeyman. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, you bring it back to mind. Tim Taylor says Boogeyman was just some guy with a monster in a closet. Pretty lame. Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, who was in that? Wasn't it Ryan Reynolds? It was some weird shit, and But actually, if I remember, I kind of think it was a little bit of a hidden gem. Not fucking good. It's a seaside. It's a sea horror film, but Stephen Knight says, the Candyman fucked me up when I was little. My mom forced me to call him in the mirror. Oh, I'm very fucking sorry to hear that. That traumatizes me. Springfield 03 Sniper says, off topic, but what does your firearm wish list include? Any guns? You really all of them? I want the shit from the Matrix where he says we're gonna need guns, and then like the road just on either fucking side. I don't know. Depends. Like pistol wise, I don't know. All of them, literally. Like honorable mentions would be Glock 17 and 9mm, USP, Heckler and Koch, and 45. A Ruger, I think it's called a G or a P100 and a 4-inch variant 357. Might want my AR-15 back. Oh, one of those Remington bolt-action sniper rifles. Maybe an AA-12. Fuck it. I mean, can I have anything? Like, you're telling me the sky's the limit here. Stephen Knight says, they had a Jeepers Creepers 3, and it was literally filmed and edited with an iPhone movie app. Oh, my Jesus. That sounds fucking terrible. He says, my God, you should go look at it when you get a chance. It's so funny. All right. I'll take a look into that. Stephen Knight says, did you ever watch Dexter? I tried to watch the first episode. The fact that it's about a serial killer turned me the fuck off. I couldn't do it. And plus, I was coming off of something else. What was the series I was coming off of? And I'm just like, you're not the same. It might have been The Wire. Which, by the way, if you haven't watched that yet, watch it. Twin Failing says, I truly love Data as a character. Yeah, and so they're going to put him in this new one, right? It's not even Star Trek Discovery. They lit that shit on fire because after... Oh, and wait a fucking minute. We're not even done ranting about that. Oh, we're coming back to it. So, in the Star Trek Discovery, for whatever reason, I don't know if you ever watched Star Trek, but like, yeah, they got these, these cores for their ships that run on dilithium crystals. All right, that's cool. It's dilithium crystals, right? Well, in this prequel, they retcon that, and they make it a tardigrade, which if you don't know what that is, it's a multicellular organism. It's very small. It's very tough. But it's a giant one, and it psychically transports them across the universe. Hey, that's really cool and interesting and clever. Where'd you come up with that? Hey, I wonder if we were to look into a game called Tardigrade, if we would find out where you came up with that. So it was a game called Tardigrade, where I think it was like 3 dudes living on a ship. There's a tardigrade that powers it. It's a cool little sci-fi, point-and-click adventure, and 2 of the characters are gay. And it's not done in a forced-in, Neil Druckmann way. It's just how the creator wanted it. Again, I don't give a shit if you make your own original story and make the characters like that. It's when you appropriate another IP and then run it the fuck into the ground with your weird fetishes. That being said, this dude wasn't like that. This dude's an Egyptian dude. He's kind of a poor student, so he's going to school, and he really needed the money off of Steam to help pay not only for his college, but he's taking care of his Grammy and Grandpa who are dying, and he takes care of them, being a nurse to them in their house. Isn't that an amazing story? Well, he tried to get in contact with them, and he was like, hey, NBC, you kind of you plagiarized my work, so, if I could just get like a check or something. They said, fuck you, asshole, we're going to sue you. I forget where that is in court, but I wanted to see that. I wanted to have the popcorn popped and fucking ready. So is that okay? I thought the whole point was to help fight the Trumpuloids by plagiarizing a Egyptian guy who's taking care of his grandma and grandpa with his space gay love story epic involving a tardigrade. You know what I mean? Is that burn? Um. Oh yeah, so in this newest one, Picard or whatever, where I'm certain every proud woman is going to go shout at Picard or whatever. They bring Data back, and well, he's old and kind of fat now, so they give him the makeup to make him an android, and I'm like, bruh, he's an android. How did he get fat? Like, come on, bro, don't do that. Just don't involve the character or make something fucking original. Like, this isn't, fuck me, man. God damn. The Omni Seal says, I always compared Worf to my dad. Awesome. There you fucking go, man. He was a good fucking masculine. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not allowed. Forgot. We're not allowed to have good masculine characters anymore. I'm sorry. All right. Going to the gulag now. Sorry, guys. Won't be able to live stream from a Soviet prison death camp. They killed twice as many people as the Nazis did. If you count the Chinese, 10 times as many. So, releasing and not even by releasing the virus. That only adds. I Need Gain says, quarantine unleashing people's crazy. Yeah, well, what am I supposed to do about it? Kane the Warlock says, whenever I think of the goat and lamb, I think of the Enemy book series. It's a zombie apocalypse that only affects those over 16, and one religious kid starts a cult based on the weird hallucinations he has. This is about a goat and a lamb. It's a weird series that I need to finish. It has a lot of religious symbolism and some really fucked up shit, like adults eating child flesh to stave off from turning. Why would it stave you off from turning into a zombie? Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, Season 3 is my favorite season. Yeah, that's probably the best one, but 4 is not bad. Stephen Knight says, damn, Meryl makes a comeback? No, I said Daryl, but you're not wrong. I think. Does he? What happened to him? I forget. Stephen Knight says, I stopped watching The Walking Dead because it gets a little slow at times too. At least you didn't watch the end. I was in season 7, and it just gets. They try to make it slice of life, and then they tried to make Rick have a crush on someone, and I was like, stop. Rick does not have a fucking crush on anyone. He crushes people. Fuck you. He says, I'm liking it now though. Damn, this show has been on for a long time. Yeah, they should have landed that shit at season 5. That's just me. They're never going to go to DC. Fucking go to DC. That's how I wanted this ending. But they were just like, nah. And they're just like, nah, we had to wander around Virginia for 9 years. You realize it wouldn't take that long by foot to cross Virginia. It's fucking Virginia. But, okay. You do you, boo. Tim Taylor says, it was some random weighty. Wait, what? I gotta stop going on these long-ass rants. Stephen Knight says, almost as long as Game of Thrones, if not longer, I think. How fucking long was Game of Thrones? What was I reading where they just kept mentioning Game of Thrones? It was a lot of people in this thread talking about Ellie and the rape scene were bringing up, well, the rape scene in Game of Thrones, and I literally just wanted a crowd of people to go, nobody cares about Game of Thrones. I just didn't give a shit about Game of Thrones. I actually quite disliked it, and I tried. I got 7 episodes in, but it's so feudal and fascist. Oh, nice. Okay, so Jessica Miller actually knows, and she says Qapla' translates to success. Yeah, well then there you fucking go. But now it has to be remain Klingon because they're evil and Trumpuloid. Get the fuck out of here. Jessica Miller says, how long did your lung collapse? For 3 days. For 3 days and 3 nights. John Birnbaum says, Kane, are you talking about the Enemy series by Charlie Higson? I read most of that except for the last 2 books. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, he comes back with a new limb. It's not a new limb. He didn't fucking regrow it. Somebody helped him. Somebody pulls a Full Metal Alchemist. Fuck. Just looking at memes. Wait for you guys to. Damn, that is a spicy one. We will not mention that shit. That's also fucked up. God, memes are fucking great. That's fucked up. So I'm looking at a meme of, it looks like a Fabrique Nationale FAL or just something similar. I can't get the look of the rifle. I have no idea what it is. But it has some kind of trigger guard that can somehow prevent someone from using it to kill themselves. And it's a standard issue rifle. And it says suicide prevention trigger guard in Turkish armed forces. And then someone comments and says, somehow no dystopian novel I've ever read did I ever imagine anything as bleak as a rifle made to stop imperialist soldiers from killing themselves. Damn. This is a terrible fucking timeline, man. And it all started with Harambe. God damn. Stephen Knight says, they should have ended The Walking Dead on Season 5 and kept Breaking Bad until Season 7. I agree with the first part of that. I disagree with the second part of that. In fact, they should all stop at 5, except for Better Call Saul. That should go on for 6. I think we're on 5 now, aren't we? Or are we on 4? I can't count. Caleb Warlock says, I assume it would be explained in later books where I left off the people deemed as the lamb and the goat have turned up and met a weird being called Wormwood, and a zombie calls himself St. George. That is a lot of acid you're describing right there. Tim Taylor says, what are some of your good boozing stories? I have no good boozing stories. Booze is bad, and you shouldn't be boozing. I will go sailing no more, but no, it can't be true. I can get drunk if I wanted to, like a bird in the sky. Sorry. Yeah, man. Yeah, booze isn't good. It's fucking bad. I got drunk once and did parkour. That's really fucking true. And I woke up on my couch with fucking deep black marks, like bruises here and along my wrists. And I was just like, what happened? And as I closed my head, I got the flash of me grabbing a hold of a fucking, iron bar railway and pulling up my fat ass so I could get over top and not fall off the second goddamn story. Fuck. But no, it can't be true. Oh, fuck. Sitting in this chair really makes my legs ache. Oh, hey, look, it's a dude I know in real life. Bro, you decided to go bald and your knife is shit. What are you doing? This is why I left Maryland. God damn, I wish I could drink beer. Damn, that's fucking rough. I'm just not feeling this game. Opens up another game. Really not feeling this game. Browses entire list of games. I might just be depressed. Ooh, I feel personally targeted by that content. John Birnbaum says, if you read the second book, The Dead, it acted as a prequel and it sets up St. George. Do you care about spoilers at this point? Fuck, y'all just having this conversation about this book series that I never read. Go ahead, man. I don't know. I can't speak for Ken, I guess. Waiting for more comments. Fuck. God damn, dude. This is a very dark dystopian world. Really wish I could have a beer right now, but I know that would be a terrible goddamn decision. I must stay sober. Woo! Damn! Infinite burn. Nintendo just rose up in my eyes. In response to all of the twatter talking about how, Neil Cuckman is actually good for making his games, fucking Nintendo's Reggie Fils-Aimé just writes, making political statements is for others to do. Nintendo wants people to smile and have fun. Fuck, bro. God damn, serving up a hot... Some tower in England, some church gets its first raven in 30 years. Oh, that's sweet. I'm trying to gain the trust of the crows in my area by feeding them, but by the time that I can take my backpack off and get my ration and crumble it up, they fly away. They just don't trust me. And I don't know what I ever did to them to make them distrust me. They see me every goddamn day on the same hike. They see me. How much noise am I making? Will they really hate me that much? Damn. Fuck. That's a fucked up one. Ooh. What am I looking something like packaged a burger in a can. And then Stephen Knight says, "How's the sobriety going? I would really like a beer right now." It's going okay. It could be worse. Like, I figured I could get sober after the quarantine was lifted, but I started day drinking Everclear. Yeah. And I watched Finding Nemo, I think 37 times. But I don't know. Because I blacked out a shit ton. And, yeah, man. When I finally ran out, it was 9 p.m. Well, when I woke up and the bottle was empty, it was 9 p.m. And that was just a terrible white-knuckle ride. Holy shit. I literally paced my apartment for between the hours of 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. before I could finally sit down on the couch and just kind of watch Parks and Recreation. And I can never do that again. So I guess I'm just never gonna drink again or some shit. Fuck. I mean, goddamn. John Birnbaum says, do you care about spoilers? No, wait. Stephen Knight says, what's your favorite war movie? Oh, Apocalypse Now. For sure. And then Steven says, I haven't drank in 3 days, but I've been smoking a shit ton of weed. Yeah, see, man, I wish I had something besides the Kratom that I could really, like, lean on that would help me care about, like, what although I have upped my Kratom take, and it does feel pretty good, but, like, then I wake up kind of, it's hard to wake up in the mornings. Like, that shit definitely has a little bit of a hangover in it. Whole situation's fucked. I just wish this whole thing hadn't happened. I was doing well before all this fucking shit. Tim Taylor says, you ever watch any of the old Hammer horror films? No, never. I've never even heard of that. Fucking look it up. I guess rather than waiting for you guys to explain shit, it might just cut fucking time off of my rants if I just looked into this shit. Like, if I find out that it's a horror film that doesn't involve MC Hammer, I'm going to be kind of pissed off. Doesn't say anything. Hammer Film Productions? Oh, I see. Oh, it's the classics. Dracula, Prince of Dracula has risen. Oh, man, these are some great titles, man. Listen to this fucking classic-ass shit. The Brides of Dracula. Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Dracula has risen from the grave. Taste the blood of Dracula. Scars of Dracula. Dracula A.D. The Satanic Rites of Dracula. God damn. And that is some exploitation as fuck. I've actually never watched any of those, so I don't know. Maybe I will, because I do like a good exploitation film, but like, I'd have to be high. Kane the Warlock says, yeah, it's a series I want to read without spoilers and see how it unfolds myself. Tim Taylor says, gotta be careful with that Finding Nemo. The key is never to drink alone. Yeah, but the problem is I love drinking alone. Because when I drink with other people, like, I was trying to use you guys as my friends to drink with, and, like, look how that fucking turned out. Like, I get way too trashed, and I say stupid shit, and I look like a buffoon, and it's like, okay, well, you can't do that. So then I decided not to do live streams, but get trashed anyway, and my brother pulls into his room, and then I just get trashed and watch movies, and I do too much. And then I wake up with a hangover. Yeah, and then Steven says, damn, Everclear, that's gnarly shit. Word. And I made the bottle disappear in, like, 2.5 days. Like, it was like, I just started on one evening, woke up the next morning at, like, 8 a.m., started drinking, passed out, woke up at 6, started drinking. I can't do it. I'm bad at balancing alcoholism. I can't do it. I know that I can't control myself, so I'm just gonna never drink again. Sucks to be me. Stephen Knight says, have you ever seen Castlevania on Netflix? I feel like I've asked you this before, but I can't remember what you said. Yeah, I gave, like, the first 2 or 3 episodes a shot. The animation's great. The voice acting is great. Why does Simon Belmont look femme? Like, fuck, man. Why? Why do the Japanese do this? Why do all their heroes have to, like, look kind of a pretty boy? Like, why can't we just have the manly man character? If you, like, look at the original design of Simon Belmont, like, he basically looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Beastmaster? Or, no, not Beastmaster. What was it called when he was in Blank the Barbarian? Dave the Barbarian? I don't remember. Tim Taylor says, everything you're describing is the reason I support weed legalization. Yeah, but the problem is I don't care for weed. I mean, maybe I've only had weird strains. I don't fucking know. But it's like a confusion bush. It doesn't really feel. It's like booze without the good feeling. So it just makes you act weird, but you don't get like that good high. Like maybe everyone else feels that, and I envy you. In that case, I wouldn't care if it was legal or not. I'd still fucking do it. But you know. Oh, and then Kane the Warlock says it's Trevor Belmont. Was he in any of the actual games? Huh. Well, maybe I'll give it another shot. I don't know. Like, I do really like Castlevania. You know, I was actually thinking about replaying Castlevania. Aria of Sorrow was good. It was great, actually. Circle of the Moon was badass. Harmony of Dissonance was meh. But, yeah. Boss of Katsnick says Fist of the North Star. I have no idea what that means. I'll look it up. I'm just going to start, like, looking shit up, man. Like, whenever I don't understand something, rather than questioning it, I will just look it up. Fist of the North Star. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Right? Isn't that what this is? That's fucking JoJo. Right? In which case, I could not get that far into it. Oh, never mind. That is not JoJo. Or is it? What the fuck is this shit? Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Why can't they ever make manly characters? Okay. Fucking word. All right. You got that. Okay. Which is why I wanted to watch JoJo. Because I thought that JoJo would contain one of my favorite themes of all time, which is like manliness and brotherhood pushed to the point of questioning homosexuality. And what I mean when I say that, like, not you are questioning your own heterosexuality, but like you're like, is this a little gay? But it's like so badass that you're just like, well, I mean, even if it is, it's I mean, like, case in point, Rocky 3, I think, the training montage between Rocky and Apollo, like, so badass and full of so much manly friendship. And then, like, near the end, like, they're taking their tops off and they got the glistening muscles and they're fucking running along it's like the beach of some big lake in Pennsylvania, and they get in the fucking lake and they splash on their manly muscles and then they hug each other. Like, I wanted that out of JoJo. And when I saw scenes of, you know, him like puffing up his chest and being like, that's for REO Speedway, Christ, I was like, oh man, maybe they're gonna have that, like, gotta have one, overly manly man, and two, that Team Dai Gurren Lagann Genki, you know, style shit. And then it just, all their outfits got flamboyant as fuck, and I'm like, well, you're kind of counterbalancing it, and I don't prefer that. No. I mean, he was retarded, and I'm okay if it's retarded. I also, well, no, yeah, they did that too. I was gonna say, one of the other ways that, like, the meme has to go is, like, these dudes have to do, like, overly, insanely, you know, powerful shit, like lifting cars and shit. You know what else is kind of in that same vein is DBZ? And actually, the characters are well designed and not effeminate looking. I just don't like the chi power. Well, you know, and JoJo's has chi powers. Yeah, I'm just not big on it. I did watch the first. Me and my brother were talking about this. I watched the first season or whatever first series of DBZ when he beats Frieza. And after 900 episodes required to explode Namek, like when he's like, please don't resurrect me and this can be the end. Me and my brother thought it was the end and we're like, okay, after 700 episodes of Namek, because we were usually just fucking watching it to see when Namek was going to goddamn explode. And every time it'd be like, next time on Dragon, we would go, oh my God. Because it was just like, how long are they going to do this shit for? You know? And, when they were like, oh yeah, man, he's got to come back. We're going to use the Dragon Balls to revive. Me and my brother were like, done. I'm out. Can't fucking do it. Really? Oh, I didn't know that. So Kane's telling me that what's it called? Castlevania is a Western production. Oh, so it's like Western anime, which we do that sometimes. And then he says Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Is that? Oh no, I'm thinking of Simon's Quest, the one where every night it gets worse or some shit like that. I think I made that my banner on Facebook because I was going through withdrawal and it was terrifying. Tim Taylor says Sanctiva's got more of a head high, where Indica's got more of a body high. Well, then how do I get the Indica? How do I do that? And the problem is that the places where I could source this shit from doesn't fucking know what it is. Fuck. doesn't matter. I have to probably piss in a cup for a job. Jeez, would really help me keep straight, though. The Boss of Cats Nick says, Ultimate Manly Anime. Thank me later. Okay, what was it called? Oh, I have it looked up. Was Fist of the North Star. Is not JoJo. A good indica will make you a couch, says Tim Taylor. Yeah, man, fucking, look, the one time I tried some pretty powerful shit, I already told the one story, but the first time I tried it, the second time that I really got baked, I was, like, walking around the neighborhood and trying to, like, enjoy music, and, like, halfway through every song, maybe it's because you were listening to repetitive pop music, maybe it would have been better if you had listened to classical, maybe it opened up that part of your mind. Yeah, well, well, it's not exactly what I was asking for. But every time the song got halfway done, I was like, okay, well, the song is clearly done. And I would, like, pick up my phone to, like, change the song, and I would see it's only halfway through, and I was like, whoa. Like, it fucked with my temporal understanding, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I did not enjoy the music, as opposed to, like, the way that you feel about music on alcohol. Oh, I fucking love that shit. Like, a good buzz and really enjoying a banger of a song. Like, fuck. Nothing compares. The Boss of Cats Nick says, those themes are consistent with the first couple parts of JoJo, though. It was there for, like, the first 3 episodes, and then, like I said, like, it was still there, but the flamboyant outfits just did not enjoy. Like, again, there's anime that doesn't have that level of weird flamboyant outfit. It was called DBZ. It sort of had the whole manly man brotherhood thing going on, kind of, but, yeah, I don't know. I guess DBZ is what I'm describing. Well, I mean, it's one of the first animes I ever saw. Stephen Knight says Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 was the best one. Look, what the fuck? There've been so... was that one of the ones for the DS? I'm going to keep that one up. Oh, here we go. Why am I an opera singer? When the it's right. Whoa, one of the 3D ones? What? I've never played any of the 3D ones, except for Castlevania N64 3D, which was AIDS. It was AIDS. Elijah the Lancer says, Epic of Gilgamesh, the original... Fucking A! He fucking gets it. Elijah the Lancer, Epic of Gilgamesh, is the original manly anime. Really fucking is. If you've ever read the Epic of Gilgamesh, like, he literally, like... He just goes around, like, being a boss and basically fighting dudes and then actually demanding that he have sex with their wives, which I thought that was kind of in poor taste. Because, like, well, the thing is, in the beginning, he's kind of a douche. Like, in the beginning, Gilgamesh is a literal, like, douche of a king or some shit like that. And then, like, he wrestles a lion or some shit. And then, like, he meets his friend, and his friend is manly with him, and then his friend kind of humanizes him and is like, be less of a dick in the future. But then his friend gets murked, and then he realizes that all humans can die, and he's, like, so fucking afraid of that he seeks out everlasting life, or some shit like that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it was just, like, when I read that, it was, like, based. And you know what else is based that's weird and occult and esoteric like that? If you read past the initial, in Dante's The Divine Comedy, like, everyone just reads the part about hell. Hell is not baller. Where you really want to go is fucking purgatory. Because in purgatory... It's like you have to put yourself through pain in order to, like, ascend into heaven, you know what I mean? I don't remember all of them, but, like, the one that obviously spoke to me was, like, I think it was because they did not have the strength to, not give in to sexual lust or some shit. Like, I don't fucking remember. Is these dudes have to hold boulders for, like, an eternity before God lets them into heaven. And I was like, based. Tim Taylor says, DBZ is the prime example of stretching shit out. Yeah, word. Tim Taylor says, Pink Floyd, my boy. Yeah, get high and what? Yeah, I enjoy Pink Floyd sober. So I can only imagine what they're like on, which is weird because the times that I've done psychedelics, like, somebody played some Clapton for me, but I was like, it's not doing it. Go back to the house music. Like, we were listening to Deep House, man. Like, tripping with Deep House. If you ever get a chance, my good luck trip band that I really fucking enjoy is called The Midnight. Vampires is their best fucking song. Look into that shit. Kane the Warlock says, JoJo gets rid of Haman after Season 1. Season 2 onwards have stands which make the battles more interesting because every stand is unique and battle becomes puzzles of figuring out the extent of the enemy's abilities. Like I said, I gave it the best shot that I could. It's... Kazlab208 says, what is your dream house? A house that I own. You think I think about this shit? I'm a millennial. Fucking all my friends are dead, push me to the edge. All my friends are dead, shoot me in the head. The Boss of Cats Nick says, DBZ is such a normie anime, though. It is, but remember, I'm not super big into anime, so, like, the more Western approachable it is, the more likely I am to kind of view it. Steven Knight says, that's the Castlevania where you play as Dracula and get to Kratos the fuck out of people. It's dope, and his powers are sick. The show, the devil, and he's fucking scared of Dracula. Laugh my ass off. It's metal as fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I've only ever played the 2D ones, man. I'm, like, really into the classic, because Metroidvania is essentially, like, one of my favorite fucking genres. Kazlab says, what is going to be your first meal when the quarantine is lifted? Bro, I can get any food I want right now. Everything is allowing takeout. I've literally just been living mostly off of, like, really high-fat, high-protein shit. Beans, cheese, guac, lots of eggs, sauerkraut and sausage, ham. There's some other shit. I really need more vegetables, so probably something. I'm probably gonna eat a fucking salad, man. Stephen Knight says, "Have you played Dante's Inferno?" I did not. I'm not big on God of War clones. I've played a lot of the God of War games actually. My favorite God of War clone, believe it or not, was Alice Madness Returns. It's a God of War clone. I like the aesthetic. King the Warlock says they also focus more on a group until part 7, not animated yet, where it's just two guys on a cross America horse race and collect parts of Jesus. Okay, fuck what? Like that's the thing. It's a little harebrained. Like I just want overly manly man. I don't need the weird magic element that they've put in there. I know I'm a fussy britches when it comes to my media, but like, you know this, like, it's you put like too much sci-fi in there. It's like, it's like spices. Things can be way too fucking spicy. When I go to Indian restaurants, they have like the white people menu and they're like, order from that. I'm like, okay. I haven't been to an Indian restaurant. Actually, correction, Kazlab, I might have Indian food. I had a Nigerian lady make me a fucking goat-based dish with like curry and bay leaves and rice once. It was fucking dope. But goat is very gamey. I wish there was a way to remove the bone, because I like it, but it comes with fucking bones. And like, you're like, is that the way that she made it? No, you just can't get the bone. Like, I've tried. It's not fucking possible. It's like worse than picking crabs. They're very bony animals. I mean, obviously, they must have like a really sick-ass like suspension system. Have you ever seen them jump around? So get up in the house and jump around. Jump around. Get up, and get down. Sorry. It's been a while since I've heard House of Pain. I need to get down with that. Everyone's talking about JoJo. And whether or not JoJo is a ripoff, Season 3 is a ripoff of Pokemon. I literally can't tell, can't throw my hat in the ring, because I've never seen anything past, I think, like, episode fucking 7. Fuck, why am I hungry now? You just ate. At 3:30. It was a lot of food, though. And then I worked out. Not good. What? Oh, no one cares about that fucking shit. I heard that there was some news that Kim Jong-un died, and then it turns out to be kind of false, but it might be true, and you never know with these things. I hope it's true. Everyone's talking about, like, well, then his crazy, psychotic, and more competent sister's gonna come along. I'm like, I don't care. I want fat war criminals to die. You know? Boys, all the memes. Ooh, that's little puppy. Memes. Oh. And something of Henry Kissinger. Wait a minute. God damn it. That's you fucking troll. Like, that's fucking terrible. The Henry Kissinger Society deeply regrets to inform the world that Henry Kissinger, the legendary American politician, diplomat, and geopolitical consultant who served multiple presidents and shaped America's position on the globe in the global community for half a century, is still alive. Fuck, man. You got me. You got the tater. Like, I'm just looking for some good news, You gotta find the silver lining of this quarantine, which is either that Kim Jong-un or hopefully Henry Kissinger dies. Like, I pray every single night. Like, dear God, please kill the globalists. Reading Steven Knight says, what's your favorite Indian dish? It's like fucking chicken curry, basically. I forget it's just like spicy chicken curry. I never know. I always just go, actually, that's not true. I've actually had, I've worked with a lot of Indians, and they've made me cool stuff. There was one way they found spices to make cheese taste like chocolate, and I fucking like cheese, and I also like chocolate, so, like, that was dope as shit, but it all has names that I don't remember, which is weird, because I know a lot of Hindi, because I have to, I don't know a lot of Hindi, but I've studied Hindu, and it all has, names that are read in Hindi. The Omni Sales says, I know everything about JoJo parts 1 through 7. I can confirm they only get more homoerotic. That does entice me. But do they have brothership, though? It's gotta be fucking... Fuck. I get caught on my strap here. It's gotta be fucking, Rocky and Apollo fucking hugging it out, man style, on the beach, because they're just so happy that they went the distance. Like, it's gotta be fucking that, It's a very specific genre. Very specific, Oh, fuck. Oh, Boss of Cats, Nick throws down. JoJo Part 3 was conceived before Pokemon was a thing. Interesting. Tim Taylor says, did you ever see that JRE clip where he's showing that Everlast? Wait, where he's showing Everlast that Jaco speech? I'm not going to spoil it. It's pure cringe. I have no idea what any of those words mean assembled. Who's JRE? Who's Everlast? Everlast there was a rapper named Everlast from Ireland, ironically. And then I don't know who Jaco is. I know none of these things. Stephen Knight says, next time you get the Nigerian food, order fufu and ifo. Actually, there is a fucking place in Fayetteville, North Carolina called the Taste of West Africa. So, like, that's not really impossible. I did have a dish there that was soy-based, and everyone was like, yeah, you're going to eat soy. And I was just like, I don't know. It looks good. So, let me be me. It's okay to soy out once in a while, man. I mean, it's a shit ton of fucking protein, which was pretty good. Fuck. And that's in, like, the nice-looking area of Fayetteville. Like, that's, like, the classic, downtown area. Near where the climbing gym is, actually, in Fayetteville. Or one of the climbing gyms. Dude, I miss being able to go on. I miss people to go to other cities. I miss people to, like, leave, go on a drive. I need to turn the engine over in my fucking car. What does it matter, man? It's the boomer remover. Let's just go. I don't care. All right, I don't fucking care. The Boss of Cats Nick says, JoJo is all about the brotherhood, baby. I don't know. You guys are trying to convince me, but I don't... Then the Omni Seal says, it's exactly like Rocky and Apollo. You'll love it. I will give JoJo another fucking... Goddamn, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. I can't fucking do this. I can't believe I should literally post reactions of me watching JoJo. Like, fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Steven Knight says, just saw Creed 1 and 2, and they were pretty good. I do want to watch Creed. I've actually never seen any of the Rocky films, okay? So that's, like, fucking weird. Because I really like the thematic content, obviously, which is, like, manly men training and then beating the shit out of each other. I'm aware of all the memes because I've seen all the montages and I've seen clips on YouTube. So I told myself I was going to marathon the Rocky films right before Creed came out in theaters, and I was going to go see Creed in IMAX, and then I just fucked up and didn't. I rolled a natural 1. And then work was like, you have to fucking make 900 hours of overtime, and you gotta suck a fat dick. And I was like, do I have to suck the dick and tickle the balls? And I was like, fuck. I mean, you know how it is. Sometimes your work wants you to suck the fat pecker and tickle the balls, So, truth, this is, like, really real. The Army has a phrase that's exact. I wouldn't know. I wasn't in the Army. I just know people who are in the Army. I always feel like I have to say that. Like, I get a lot of their memes through osmosis, okay? In the Army, they actually refer to when you're just about to like get leave, and then commanding officer comes in and says, now you can't, you gotta scrub the latrine because fuck you, asshole. That's called the long green weenie. They call that the long green weenie. The green weenie got me. You know what I mean? And I feel like we all have that green weenie, and it's called our jobs and the overlords that we serve. Kill them all. Kill them all, baby. Tim Taylor says, Joe Rogan, Everlast from House of Pain. Everlast's from House of Pain? God damn, I'm dumb. Okay, you got me. You got the tater. I didn't know that. Huh. He went on to... That was who that was? He looks different on that album cover. Okay. Interesting, because I did watch a Todd in the Shadows about the House of Pain, and he did not mention that he went on to actually do anything. That's interesting. Okay. So, as you were saying, Joe Rogan, Everlast from House of Pain. Jayco is some shredded Navy sergeant dude. Okay, so in what clip does Joe Rogan show Everlast? Like, I'm interested to know about this. I mean, I would look it up, but, I'll look it up. I'll answer all these questions, then I'll look it up. If you add it in there, then I'll just look it up there. Stephen Knight says, or get jollof rice. Oh my God, delicious. Hell yeah, man. God. I guess maybe that's what I'll do, man. I'll go get some West African food, man, when the fucking shit's over. I just want to go and walk around outside. I just want to take a drive. I mean, I walk around outside. I don't know why I'm being a pussy about this. It's probably because it's just fucking depressing. I don't know. The gym and the climbing gym. I don't think these are unreasonable. I don't think this is unreasonable. I would also like to go back to my job. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but like, it's something to do. Keeps you motivated. Kane the Warlock says, Part 7, Johnny starts raving about a song, Hero, that's how that would be pronounced, made about pizza mozzarella. What? Steven Knight says, looks like I'm giving JoJo another chance then too. Lol. Yeah, these fucking trolls are going to talk us into watching that harebrained shit. I'm like on episode 7, and I was just like, I can't fucking do it. It wasn't homoerotic enough, to be perfectly honest. You know what I mean? I'm really not kidding. Bossa Cats Nick says Part 7 gets better animated. Part 7 is like 300 episodes in, son. Are you giving me this like this what is it they do on who is it, the One Pieces, the One Piece people who are just like, you just gotta watch to episode 1000 and after that it's better. Like, fuck, man. I got shit I'm lying to you. I don't got shit I gotta do with my life. I'm stuck here. Season 2 Part 3 does have a little pacing issue where something lasts longer than they should. Anime only, though. After that, the pacing is 1-to-1 with the manga. Fuck. Who are all these people who read the goddamn manga back in the fucking day, man? Ooh. Oh, is there ASMR in my little bust of Abe from Abe's Exodus? I think there. Oh my God, I think there is. I gotta position it right, but he's got a fat fucking head and I only have one hand. Fucking. Excuse me, I didn't mean to bump the goddamn mic. You know what I'm gonna start doing in between answering these questions? I'm gonna just start making ASMR. Okay, keep your fucking hands away from the mic, you idiot. Oh, that's good. Isn't it good? See if there's any tapping in there. I think there is. You know what I think might also have some tingles in there. I think my ink is custom ink that I had made. I've stopped journaling completely, which is hysterical because now I have all the goddamn time in the world. But I've been writing that script for Final Fantasy VII, and I feel like not just calligraphy is interesting, that I would be able to more adequately express myself by just typing. Like, I'm an insanely fast fucking typer. Hey, Sarah's in the fucking chat, everybody. She's a pretty regular. I hope, Sarah, you're doing your home workouts, because I did my home workout today, and it made me want to kill myself. It's not the goddamn gym. I want the equipment from the fucking gym, I swear to God. I'm going to open up that gym with my shotgun. Like, I'm pretty sure that the slug is going to go straight through the fucking window, and they're going to unlock that shit, and the cops are going to find me on the elliptical. Sorry. Omniseal says, your ASMR is quite rancid. Well, fuck you, man. Thanks for nothing. Thanks. Fuck, man. Come on, man. What the fuck? What did I ever do to you? Oh, is that good? I think it is. Yeah, I know, because I can't make this thing any fucking louder. Is there a way to boost the signal? I think this just makes me hear me louder. It doesn't make... Let me see if I can... Okay, this is fucking crazy. Wait, no, it's not. Yes, it fucking is, you retard. No. Can I use this program to boost it? Properties. Okay, well then that's a property. Advanced audio properties. I think brace yourself, because this shit's about to get a whole lot louder. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna hear some real shit. Okay, we're bumping it. We're almost at 200%. Yeah, we're getting close to 200%. I think 250 will probably be better. I know this is fucking crazy, but I kind of don't give a shit. Like, what am I being unprofessional? I'm sorry. Am I putting you guys off if you don't like ASMR? Fuck it, man. Is this actually getting louder? Okay, wait a minute. It kind of is. How loud can I push this shit? We're into 300% at this point. Oh my gosh, I just realized. Does it change on the... Okay. I just realized, I'm really sorry if I blew your goddamn brains out, that it doesn't change my... I've just been pressing up on the program, and I realized that it just changes the output. It's not changing what I actually hear. So now this shit should be loud as fuck. Am I wrong? Okay, is this any better? I've altered it. I actually really like the sound of that. Oh, now that is good. Hey, if you guys can let me know if I've actually boosted the sound. I was able to use the program that I'm broadcasting through to boost the sound of the output of the mic. I really need to watch what I'm doing of the output of the microphone. I'm just fucking around. Come on now. Let me have my fun. I'm going to turn the goddamn sound back down. Actually, what I'm going to do is real quick, I'm going to actually see if that bumped anything. I'm going to turn this mic off so you don't get feedback. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I just didn't want to blow your guys' brains out. I turned it right the fuck back down. I don't know. I boosted that shit to 300, and I don't feel like that actually made a difference. Like, so is the microphone just not powerful enough to do ASMR? Like, because I've seen people with shitty Blue Yetis who were doing okay. I mean, essentially, are you telling me that to do really, really complex or really, deep sounds, I need like a really advanced Rode? Yeah, well, that ain't fucking happen. Some of these comments don't really make any sense. Jessica Miller says, you need to read Biomega. It's very gory. Again, I've got so many mangas I have to read now. And Tim Taylor confirms, yes, I boosted it. Well, I was at 300%. I mean, it didn't say that it could stop me. I could really jump that shit up to like 500%. All right, this is a really... No, that would be dumb. I was going to say, you could plug into the broadcast and listen to it and then just see how bad, but I'm not going to fuck around with that. I just thought I would have some fun. Maybe there's some ASMR in the DS. Yeah, do you like that? That was one of my first triggers, was button pressing. One of these days, I'm just going to do a live ASMR stream. I ASMR, even though I know I don't do a very good job of it. Why does it have that little white blocker and the black one? I don't know. Like, because I had a white one and I lost it, and my brother had one. It doesn't matter. Oh, fuck. All right, well, it's 9:48. Comments are drying up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will be back one day with the fish people, because your boy HP. I'm probably going to go bong up on green tea. I eat kratom. One last question. Skull Ball Corp says, I've not been keeping up with these quarantine streams. Sadly, how are you holding up, Tolstoy? Keeping sane? Maybe. I think. All right, everybody. I'll see you soon.